is swung on and hit in the air to right field deep. And you can't forget about this one. Blaze Salter hits number 5, and the Newport Gulls retake the lead.
This is the Newport Gulls pregame show, live from Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island.
Gone! A grand slam! Drew left power, right tower power, and the Gulls walk off in the 15th inning!
Coming up, interviews, stats, standings, lineups, and a whole lot more.
Tomas steps on the back for one out, throws to first, and it is in time, a double play.
Pitch, breaking ball lifted deep to center field, and it is gone! A 2-run shot for Cody Hosey.
A high drive, left field deep. Bolzano going back, looking up. This ball is a 2-run homer. P.J. Jones hits it out.
Stay tuned. The pregame show begins now on the NECBL Broadcast Network. In his first season covering Newport Gulls baseball, here's play-by-play broadcaster Stephen Huff.
Newport readies itself for its first game at Cardines in 5 days as they take on the 3-8 New Bedford Base Sox here on Sakuchi Honda Star Wars night. How you doing, everybody? Stephen Huff getting you set for tonight's matchup between the Newport Gulls and New Bedford Base Sox here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. The Gulls were in action last night in a makeup game against the Ocean State Waves. The Gulls had their chances offensively but left 8 men on base as they fell to the Waves by a score of 3-2. The Gulls will take on the 3-8 New Bedford Base Sox here tonight. The Base Sox come into this one with that 3-8 record and sit currently in last place of the Southern Division, but they are come into this one riding a 2-game win streak, and their last time out they beat the Mystic Schooners, who sit atop of the Southern Division. It's the Gulls and Base Sox right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. The Gulls pregame show starts right now. Welcome back to the Gulls pregame show. It's time for the Broadcasters Roundtable. Stephen Huff alongside the Gulls field reporter Zach Letzen on my left, and Alex Fuse, the voice of the New Bedford Base Sox, on my right. And Zach, we're going to start with you. The Gulls this weekend, tough loss against Ocean State yesterday, 3-2. Pitching did well, though. Talk a little bit about the pitching yesterday of Connery Peters, excellent start, and then the bullpen came in and did excellent as well.
Yeah, well, you got to respect the outing from Connery Peters. Look at how he's done this season. 15 strikeouts over those last 2 starts. And pitching's been great. What the Gulls really got to look for is clutch hitting. That's what's going to make the difference in these ball games. Losing to the Waves by just 1 run.
So they lost to the Waves 3-2 yesterday. Against the Base Sox, they're 2-0 so far on the season. You mentioned clutch hitting. Is that what they're going to need moving forward to improve to 3-0 against the Base Sox here tonight?
Absolutely. Well, you got to look at starting pitching. That's going to have to continue its success that we've seen so far, and the clutch hitting's got to change if they want to pick up win number 3 against the Base Sox here at Cardines Field.
Alex, we're turning over to you. I saw you just a week ago. Since then, you guys are on a 2-game win streak. Everything's trending up. Fill me in. What's going on the Base Sox side of things?
The Base Sox won last night in a crucial matchup between the Mystic Schooners and the Base Sox. Schooners in first place in the division. Base Sox got the win out of that one, and Chris Cave, the manager, actually got thrown out of that game, and I think Chris Cave getting thrown out fired this team up even more to hopefully now we start seeing the Base Sox build on their success at the plate. Jake Suttleson, who was joined the team last Monday, did not play in last Monday's game, but he's been 9 for 14 since he made his debut against Ocean State just 2 nights ago. So he's played in 2 games, went 9 for 14 so far. So unbelievable performance by him so far. So again, it's going to be interesting to see how the Base Sox continue this hot streak here tonight at Cardines Field.
Jake Suttleson, do you think he's going to be in the lineup tonight? One of the star guys. You mentioned him last Monday. We didn't get to see him. Should be in the lineup tonight with his hot hand at the plate?
I'm no manager or, I just broadcast the games. But if I'm, the manager here tonight again, Teddy Regan, the hitting coach, filling in for Chris Cave as he's serving his 1-game suspension here tonight. If I'm Teddy Regan here tonight, especially as a hitting coach, there's no better bat in that lineup that I want than Jake Suttleson in there right now to continue this hot streak going. Base Sox left 74 men left on base in the first 9 games this season. Base Sox need that hot bat in that lineup to make sure they don't add any more numbers onto that number.
Well, it should be a good game in store. Gulls pregame show coming up next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the NECBL pregame show. I'm Zach Letzen here with Gulls pitcher Connery Peters. Connery, you have 15 strikeouts in your last 2 starts. What's been the key to getting so many outs via the strikeout?
Really, it's just about fastball command and playing your other pitches off that, especially changeup, following the same arm slot. So it's just repetitiveness and your everyday throwing, which has given me really great success.
Coming over from Wichita State, what have you enjoyed most about the transition to playing summer ball here in New England with the Gulls?
There's some water around, not in the middle of nowhere anymore. So I really like the atmosphere of this town. I love Wichita, don't get me wrong, but Newport's a great place.
And you're the only pitcher on the Gulls who has started 3 games thus far. What do you think the biggest challenge has been for you? Just 3 starts into the year, but what are some of the challenges you've noticed?
I really haven't had that many challenges. The coaching staff out at Wichita has really prepared me for this towards the end of the year, being a weekend guy. So I give a lot of credit to them and how they've helped me get ready for this. So,
pitching over 15 innings this year so far, ERA under 3. What do you think you need to do to continue that success later on this season?
Just stay consistent with everything I do every day. All the running, throwing, weights, listening to our pitching coach, Coach Jackerson. So, I mean, it's going to be a grind here come mid-July, but right now I'm really enjoying it.
Well, Connor, I appreciate your time. The pregame show continues next year on the NECBL network. Welcome back to the NECBL pregame show. I'm Zach Letzen here with game day operations assistant Patrick Salmon. And Patrick, how did you find out about this position to work with the Gulls here this summer?
So I actually have family that lives in Newport, Rhode Island, so I've known the Gulls my whole life. I would come down here in the summer, and once I finally got to be able to get an internship, I decided to apply for it. My aunt told me about it, and the rest was history.
Well, we're still in June here, but I was wondering if you've had any favorite moments working with the Gulls here so far.
I don't know if I have any favorite moments yet. Moments are definitely going to be made towards the end of the season once the Gulls start making the playoffs and get running with things.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Well, with 12 game days left here in the regular season and potentially the playoffs down the road, what are some of the things you're looking forward to most as the season winds down?
I'm looking to see the Gulls get a ring, nice celebration for the boys, and that's about it. Just to see the players enjoy their summer playing summer ball.
Absolutely. Who wouldn't want to see that happen? All right, well, that's going to do it for us. Well, the pregame show continues next on the NECBL network.
It's time for the Coach's Corner, and I'm Stephen Huff alongside the Gulls pitching coach Greg Zackerson. And Coach, looking at this team's pitching staff, it's been the catalyst for the Gulls' success so far this season. They lead the league in strikeouts with 129. What has led to the Gulls' success on the mound so far?
Well, we throw a lot of strikes, so that's been probably the plus. We don't walk a lot of guys, and the guys have good stuff. So, I mean, really, it's been them throwing strikes and then really just kind of working their off-speed. A lot of guys here are kind of working on their breaking ball. Thing is, we're striking out a lot now. I think when guys start figuring that out, we actually might be even a little better in a couple weeks.
One of the new guys that just showed up was Mike Townsend of UCLA, made his debut against Valley, pitched 2 scoreless innings of relief, looked excellent out there. Talk a little bit about his debut as a Gull.
Mike actually may have the best slider in the league. It's funny, his nickname now is Slide Piece, meaning he throws pretty good. He's kind of quick downhill. And then the breaking ball, he's the one guy that doesn't need to work on the breaking ball this summer. He's actually really good. I mean, his slider is outstanding. And he throws strikes, and that's kind of been the key. I mean, we don't walk guys, we get ahead, and then the truth is we got guys that kind of throw hard. So he's just another guy that we're going to add to that mix.
Starting tonight for the Gulls is Jordan Marks. Newport fans have seen him a couple times. What can the Gulls fans that haven't seen him expect out from here on the mound tonight?
Well, Jordan needs to keep the ball down. He likes to work at the belt. If he can get the ball below the belt, it's going to be really tough. And again, he's working on a breaking ball a little bit this summer too, but throws real hard. So, I mean, we're kind of hoping he throws strikes and keeps us in the game.
All right, thank you, Coach. He's Greg Zackerson. I'm Stephen Huff. The Gulls pregame show continues next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Once again, here's Stephen Huff and the Newport Gulls broadcast team.
Welcome to Cardines Field here in Newport, Rhode Island, for Sakuchi Honda Strike for an SUV Star Wars night, where a fan has a chance to win a new Honda SUV courtesy of Sakuchi Honda. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the New Bedford Base Sox, Alex Fuse, and the Newport Gulls field reporter, Zach Letzen, as we get set for tonight's matchup between the 6-5 Newport Gulls and the 3-8 New Bedford Base Sox. Fellas, thanks for joining me. First of all, it's the third matchup between these two sides, and Alex, we've been lucky so far this season. First matchup between these two sides, 3-1. It was the first time with the NECBL new rules in the extra innings that any team got to experience those rules. And then last time out is a 6-0 shutout. But we had Trevor Kelly joining the booth with us, Pawtucket Red Sox AAA affiliate pitcher who has a chance to be called up to the Red Sox pretty soon, actually. So it's been a pleasure being with you this season.
I know, back at it again. It was last Monday, the last time I was here in the booth with you guys. So, you know, it feels like deja vu.
Deja vu indeed. Last time out for the Gulls was actually yesterday. It was a makeup game against the Waves that was rained out earlier in the week. And the Gulls fell 3-2 to the Waves. It was a tough pitching battle. And Connery Peters started on the mound for the Gulls, went 4 2/3 innings pitched, gave up 4 hits in that game, 2 runs, all of them earned, gave up 3 walks to 6 strikeouts. Pat Maybach made a relief appearance, and Dylan Brown. They all pitched excellent, really. The Gulls offensively had their chances, but left 8 men on base, and that was really the problem with it because they couldn't have that situational hitting. And in a 1-run game, you know, that's going to be the end-all, be-all to it. And so the Gulls fell to their record right now, 6-5. On the other side of things, New Bedford Bay Sox coming to this one, 2-game win streak, and they just topped the #1 team in the South, Mystic Schooners.
And that's where it is, Steven. So Bay Sox coming into Newport tonight with a 2-game win streak. Bay Sox looking to build on this hot streak going. 14-4 win against Ocean State 2 nights ago. Last night, 6-3. It was tied, and the 7th inning at a score of 3-3. Another big night for Alex Brickman, coming up with another huge RBI double, scored 2 runs to give the Bay Sox the lead, and the Bay Sox stuck on and held on to that lead. So another win for the Bay Sox. They sit 3-8 on the season, but I know, you know, looking at the Bay Sox start, sure, they started the season off 0-5, and then, you know, they finished, you know, 1-8, and now they're starting to win ball games here, now 3-8 on the season. They won. They beat the #1 team, the Schooners, last night, but 74 men left on base in the first 9 games. I've said this the last few broadcasts, but it's just so spot on of where the Bay Sox have been missing in the first few games.
Well, we're going to get more into this matchup in just a bit. We're going to send it down to the field for tonight's national anthem.
Here with us tonight to perform the national anthem is Colin Van Pelt and Katrina Fortier, both local musicians performing as a duo on Dakara or a full band, the Soul Keepers. Colin performed the national anthem here in 2018 and shortly after performed the national anthem in Fenway Park.
So proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Tonight's national anthem was sung by Colin Van Pelt and Katrina Fortier, local musicians here in Newport, as they performed the national anthem in 2018 after performing for the Boston Red Sox after performing at a Newport game, a Gulls game, just a few weeks prior to that Red Sox game. But before we look into tonight's matchup, lineups, and pitchers, we're going to send it over to our field reporter here for the Newport Gulls, Zach Letzen. Zach, recap us on yesterday's game around the NECBL and then preview tonight's games.
Well, Stephen, as we take a look around the league, 12 of the league's 13 teams in action Sunday, and all 6 games within Northern and Southern play. No interdivision games. The Vermont Mountaineers topping the Winnipesaukee Muskrats 7-4. Keene topping Valley 8-6. Upper Valley defeating North Adams, the Steeplecats, the Northern Division leading Steeplecats, and pitching a 3-hitter, topping them 7-1. Of course, the game we just talked about, New Bedford defeating the Mystic Schooners, the league leading Mystic Schooners, 6-3. Danbury picking up win number 7 on the year, topping Martha's Vineyard 10-4. And then, of course, the game we also mentioned, Ocean State edging out the Gulls 3-2.
And so then, looking at tonight's matchup, New Bedford Base Sox 3-8 on the season. Alex Fuse, the voice of the Base Sox, you want to take us through the Base Sox lineup tonight?
For the Base Sox, leading off once again, Jack Winkler, the third baseman tonight. Batting second, Thomas Blandini, the shortstop. Batting third, the red-hot Jake Sittleson, 9 for 14 since joining the Base Sox. He's designated hitting tonight. Batting fourth in the cleanup spot, Alex Brookman. He came up big last night, 7 for 23 on the season. Does have a home run so far. Batting fifth, Andrew Raposa in left field. Behind the plate, Zach Buck, the catcher. And in right field, Tommy Seidel. At second base, Brian Hart. And in center field, to round things out once again for the Base Sox, is Elijah Brown in center field.
They'll be facing off against the Gulls pitcher tonight, Jordan Marks of USC Upstate. So far on the year, 2 appearances for the Gulls, has a 6.35 ERA through 5 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 7 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, has walked 4 batters while striking out 4. And now taking a look at the Gulls lineup tonight, Greg Cavalieri usually hits in the 9-hole for the Gulls, is actually now the leadoff hitter for the Gulls, who'll be playing left field. Then Jake Gustin, Bryant product, who will be playing second base and hitting in the second spot in the lineup for Newport, followed by Hudson Haskin of Tulane, who'll be playing center. And then in the cleanup spot for the Gulls, Quinnipiac product, Colton Bender, who'll be hitting as the designated hitter tonight for Newport, followed by Justin Henry Malloy of Vanderbilt, who'll be playing third. Then Brett Bosick, University of Kansas product, he'll be playing right field. And then Ryan Tours of Villanova, he'll be playing first, followed by Peter Ceruto of Rutgers, who'll be tonight's catcher for the Gulls. And then rounding out the order for Newport is Austin James of Missouri, and he'll be playing shortstop. And then, of course, Gulls, that's their lineup. Who are they going to face on the mound for the Base Sox?
Well, Steven, the Gulls are going to face Mike White. And Mike White so far this season has pitched in 10 innings, only given up 8 hits, 1 run. That 1 run was earned, gave up 2 walks and 6 strikeouts, all just in 10 innings. So Mike White has really been their go-to pitcher so far this season. He's provided the length for the rotation, as well as he has a .90 ERA. So he's been shut out for the Base Sox here tonight. And again, Base Sox looking for the 3rd straight win of the season, making it 4-8, trying to get out of that 1-8 hole here tonight. And again, it should be noted, Chris Cave, the manager of the Base Sox, was thrown out of the game last night against the Schooners. So Teddy Reagan is going to be the acting manager here tonight for the Base Sox.
So the Base Sox putting their ace out there on the mound, trying to win 3 straight here tonight against the Gulls. Looking at the umpires tonight for tonight's matchup between the Gulls and Base Sox, Frank Salesi will be the home plate umpire, and out there in the field, Frank Battaglia and Stephen Williams. Taking a look at the weather, at least at first pitch. Sunny, 74 degrees out here in Newport, 60% humidity, and an 8-mile-per-hour wind coming from the southwest. So, I mean, about as picture perfect as you could want here for first pitch. One of the warmer nights to start, especially here at Cardines. Not too windy just yet. As you could see, the true indicator there just past us, both behind the stadium.
A lot of rain in the area recently. We've had quite a bit of rainouts. I'm sure you guys have as well up there in New Bedford.
Yesterday's game against the Schooners was also a makeup day for us. We were supposed to play the Schooners earlier last week, so it was the first. We've had 4 games that were a part of the awful weather that we've seen in the last few weeks.
So taking a look at the defensive alignments for the Gulls as they take the field, going from left to right in the outfield, it'll be Cavalieri, Haskin, and Vosick. Going from left to right in the infield as well, Justin Henry, Malloy, Austin James, Jake Gustin, and Ryan Tours. And then behind the plate, as we mentioned, Peter Ceruto. Leading off for the Bay Sox, as Alex Fuse mentioned, will be Jack Winkler, University of San Francisco product. And he's actually a newer addition of the team, a guy I haven't seen yet. And we just met a week ago, and he's already been tearing it up for the Bay Sox.
Yeah, Winkler is a guy that was actually played for the Bay Sox last season and now joining up with the Bay Sox here tonight, and especially coming at almost the perfect time. You know, the Bay Sox were really struggling to get the runners on base, get the runners that were on base in to score. Again, 74 men left on base in the first 9 games for the Bay Sox. Both Winkler and Suttleson coming in hot for the Bay Sox, really providing the extra spot in the lineup. Winkler on the season, 4 for 11, has an RBI, 3 walks, and Suttleson 9 for 14, has a home run and 2 RBIs. He's been red hot in just 3 games.
Well, we talked about him in the pregame. We talked about him in the pregame of last week's show, or last week's game when he showed up on the team. Yeah. And he didn't crack the lineup because he just arrived. That's understandable. Yeah. But I understand now why you were talking about him. I mean, look at the average. He was hitting 700 coming into last night, still hitting 643 at 9 hits and 14 at-bats. Incredible. Obviously, he's in the lineup tonight, hitting in the 3 spot, as he should.
And he's coming off of one of his best careers over at Harvard University. Batted .372, 11 home runs, 53 RBIs, Ivy League Player of the Year this past season, coming especially to the Bay Sox team at the perfect time.
Well, Alex, we've had a lot of special moments already together. Obviously, we talked about it at the beginning. First NECBL with their new rules, extra inning games. Last week with Trevor Kelly. Now we get to see Suttleson, but fans, don't go anywhere. Top of the second, we're actually going to get the NECBL Commissioner Sean McGrath joining us here in the booth.
I can't wait.
So we'll get to sit with him at least for half an inning, possibly an inning, depending on how much time he has. He's a busy man, obviously, and so we'll at least get to talk with him for a little bit as Winkler settles in. First pitch from Marks. Fastball misses low, so 1-0 to start. We need to invite you up here more often.
Every game is just
Every game is special, yeah. Now this 1-0 is going to be lined into center, so leadoff single for the Bay Sox. And that hot trend continues for New Bedford.
Unbelievable. You know, now with that base hit by Winkler there, 5 for 12 since joining the Bay Sox. You know, him and Suttleson, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
And the next guy up, Thomas Blandini, as he settles in at the plate. Runner on first. Hitting .341 so far this summer. I mean, you can't make these averages up. It seems like everyone is the hot man at the plate for the Bay Sox. And he's first pitch swinging, fouls it back into the screen.
You know, and Blandini over the last few games seems anxious at the plate. He's been very much more closer to home plate in the batter's box.
Yeah, you notice it here. He's nearly touching that inside line that's hugging the plate.
And even when he did lead off for the Bay Sox.
He's going to ground this one over past Tours under his glove. Rounding second is Winkler, heading for third. Bosick throws it into Gustin at second, so quick runners on the corners for the Bay Sox.
You know, the bats are still hot here for the Bay Sox, and it really got things going 2 nights ago at Ocean State. Scored 14 runs, 18 hits. 3 of those hits were home runs. Just, again, to restate, you know, and then there was also just 3 doubles, 12 hits, 14 runs were scored. But I would say with so many positives, there is a negative.
Suttleson settles in, and he's first pitch swinging as well. He's going to fly this one over to Vosick, who's backing up and right now coming in underneath it for out number 1. Tagging from third is Winkler. The throw to the plate to Tours is cut off. Now the throw over Ceruto, but backing up Ceruto was Marks. He catches it cleanly. So a run will score for the Bay Sox. Staying at first on the play is Blandini, but more importantly, New Bedford, takes a 1-0 lead.
1-0 lead, and especially you have the guy on the mound for you, Mike White, who's been shut out all so far, and this is his third appearance here tonight. But with the one negative, I will say, 15 walks were given up by the Bay Sox bullpen in the last 2 games.
So if the Gulls can get to that bullpen, that might be their way out. Past White as this first pitch to Brickman. Fastball outside, ball 1. Of course, there's a long way to get there, so maybe jumping ahead of the gun at this point.
Yeah,
so
no, but just to point out there for when
we may get there is now this 1-0 slider misses low and away. 2-0. I will say, I mean, you guys, we talked about it last Monday, looking under the hood of this team. We looked more on the pitching side, which we most likely will do later again, but the hitting also sneakily good for a team that was record-wise didn't look that great at the plate. As now this one's going to be grounded over underneath a sliding Malloy going towards the shortstop side into left field. So Brickman is now aboard.
And just like that, it's going to be a base hit for Brickman. So the hit parade continues here for the Bay Sox.
So that's 3 hits in 4 batters. And the only one that didn't reach base, it was a sacrifice fly. And so it was still a productive at-bat that scored a run for New Bedford. And so with runners on first and second, when 1 away, that will bring up Andrew Raposa.
You know, the sac fly is so underrated in baseball. Sure, it's an out, but you get a run.
And that's your goal at the end of the day. So, of course, you'll take the trade-off, especially here in the first, as now this slider's going to be chopped back behind the plate into the screen. 0-1. Is that the first time you hear the fire trucks here? I don't know if they were here last Monday.
I don't think they were.
Yeah. Louder than you think they're going to be, aren't they?
Yeah.
Now this 0-1 to Raposa, lined right back to us. You flinched a
did.
little bit.
Well, what a rookie mistake. Oh.
We got a netting and a fence in between us.
Yeah. I'm glad the camera wasn't on me for that one. That was embarrassing.
Oh, man.
That was a rookie move.
Mark's looking on to Raposa. Runners take off for third. The throw down. They're going to say not in time.
Oh.
They're going to say, I think Blandini got around the tag. Now Blandini, excellent slide and speedy as well. So,
and this is why Blandini was in the top of the lineup for so long for the Bay Sox and still up in the 2 spot as well. So you still have that consistent left-handed batter in the batter's box, but also the speed on the bases. That's what you need in the top of the lineup.
Now an 0-2 count to Raposa. Slider swung on and missed for strike 3. Second out here in the first. First strikeout of the day for Marks on the mound. And I tell you what, a good start of the day for New Bedford. Chris Cave, the manager for New Bedford, is not here today. Obviously was ejected in yesterday's game. They got a hitting coach as the acting manager. And I wonder if that will be a trend to continue. The team's being a little bit more aggressive as the active manager is at the helm. You see that especially at the major league levels.
Well, and especially, I mean, Coach Teddy is as old school baseball as you can get, and he's just
let him run, let him play. Now this first pitch to Buck. Fastball catches the bottom edge for strike 1.
You know, Steven, we still have 3 more games after tonight. If you have a chance, just go up to Teddy and just start talking with him. I mean, he knows so much about the game. He spent his entire life around baseball.
Now this 0-1. Breaking ball popped back into the screen. 0-2.
Oh, what a play by Slidell. Making the rebound.
Well, I tell you what, that's only the 7th stolen base of the year for New Bedford. They've been caught 7 times, and so to see them go there, especially in the first, maybe that's just a sign that they will let him play a little bit more today. So 2 fastball misses outside. 1-2.
Blandini had 13 stolen bases this past year for Southern New Hampshire University. But getting back to the point about, you know, maybe this team is going to be more aggressive with the acting manager, Coach Teddy, up at plate. But, you know, I think the major difference here today.
Now this 1-2. Check swing from Buck. They're going to offer down. They're going to say he went around.
I'll finish that story next inning.
So we'll have that in the bottom of the first. Bay Sox do score 1 in the top of the first off of 3 hits as they leave 2 stranded. Heading into the bottom of the first, New Bedford leads Newport 1-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the first, New Bedford leads Newport 1-0. Stephen Huff alongside Alex Fuse and Zach Letson. And I tell you what, guys, already entertaining on the baseball side of things. We're getting to see some fans try to throw a ball the distance of home plate to second base through a 6-inch hole for a chance to drive home with an SUV courtesy of Sakuchi Honda tonight here on Star Wars night. And it's pretty entertaining and a chance of a lifetime, I tell you what.
Unbelievable. I mean, I was thinking, yeah, I fit the narrative. I've never played baseball besides Little League, and then, you know, I definitely I really have any relationship with the Newport Gulls. So maybe next time we come down here, if no one's won the SUV yet, maybe I'll try give it a
You
shot.
gotta sign up quick, huh?
Yeah.
One guy came really close, just throwing it just over, actually. Nonetheless, here on the field, Greg Cavalieri settles in, leadoff man for Newport. As he watches his first pitch fastball cruise over the heart of the plate, 0-1. Mike White on the mound, righty from Stonehill. On the 0-1, breaking ball going to be grounded over to the second baseman Hart. He fields and throws to first. Cavalieri nearly able to beat that out, but Hart able to retire him inside, so 1 away.
Yeah, I mean, Cavalieri definitely does have the speed right out of the box. You know, it's definitely something where if you get it deep, you know, into an infielder in the infield, it's going to be a very close play. Even just a soft ground ball to the second baseman was a very close play.
And he has the advantage of being a lefty coming out of the box. So does Jake Gustin, who's the man at the plate here as he watches his first pitch in there for strike one.
You know, Mike White does work very quick on the mound.
He does. He already comes with a second pitch in there for strike two. Count now 0-2 to Gustin. And I think that rhythm might help him. You know, 0.9 ERA, and that might...
It's unbelievable.
That quick rhythm might be what helps him so far. Obviously, he has filthy stuff, too, but also with that rhythm might help him a little bit as well. Now this 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball just misses. A little bit outside, so count now 1-2 to Gustin. Righty on lefty matchup, as we said. White out of the windup, delivers a 1-2 fastball that's going to be chopped foul along the first base line, so we'll go again.
Well, while we have a quick second here, again, Mike White very quickly, to get back to the story about, you know, is it going to be more of an aggressive offensive Bay Sox with Teddy Regan, the hitting coach, being the acting manager?
So now this 1-2 to Gustin.
I think it puts more of a microscope into these small aspects of the game. Coach Teddy is very oriented about knowing the situations, what's the count, and then also when you're in the field, how many outs there are, where are you throwing the ball if the ball hits you?
This 1-2 to Gustin, fouled once again.
You know, that's another thing that the Bay Sox have really been struggling is when they take the field. You know, for example, if there's runners on second and third, what's the situation? What's more important, to get the runner at second base?
This 1-2 pitch misses low, 2-2.
Or the runner coming scoring. So just knowing those little situations to where it will add more pressure on the Bay Sox to really make those plays.
Now this 2-2 fastball misses low once again, 3-2.
To really make sure that you make those plays in the field, knowing that the hitting coach, Coach Teddy, is really paying attention to every little detail in the manager spot here tonight.
And he'll be harping on them, I'm sure. As now this 3-2 to Gustin, going to be flown straight up. Now leaking back into center field, is going back is the shortstop Blandini. Able to retire Gustin, so 2 up, 2 down so far for the Gulls in the bottom of the first. So with 2 quick outs for the Gulls, that will bring up Hudson Haskin, a guy that's been heating up as the summer's gone on. Hitting .267 now for the Gulls after a slow start. So as that bat heats up, he also has 6 stolen bases on the year, leading the team. As this first pitch catches the outside edge, 0-1. Again, fans, next inning, top of the second, we'll be joined by Sean McGrath, the commissioner of the NECBL. So stick around with us as Haskin pops this breaking ball back into the screen, 0-2.
Just like that, and an 0-2 count. Mike White looking to get out of this inning with 1-2-3 style.
White looking on righty matchup. First of the day for White. This breaking ball is going to be chopped over to the third base side. Walker with it. Throws to first. Tough hop for Brickman, and it skips by him. So Hudson Haskins aboard.
An E5 on the throw. Winkler fielded it great, but just couldn't get the throw down to first.
They're going to rule that one an error on Winkler.
You know, third base has definitely, they call it the hot corner for a reason, Steven, and I believe that's going to be the 5th error of the season by a third baseman for the Bay Sox. So Bay Sox definitely have struggled at the hot corner in the first 11 games.
And I think last time you were here, you might have had at third base 1 or 2 errors. It wasn't Winkler, of course, because it's the first time I've seen him. It's now first pitch to Colton Bender, misses low and away, 1-0. I could be mixing up my teams, though, at the same time.
No, it was Jeremiah Adams who spent the last day yesterday as he's off to boot camp. So, again, we thank Adams for being a part of this team for the first 2 weeks. And
1-0 pitch in there for strike 1 as Hudson Haskin took off for second. Throw ends up in center field as Hart couldn't handle it.
And we once again thank Adams for his service.
Yep.
But to get back here, what a throw right on the money by Buck. Just got right out of Winkler's glove there. Or Brian Hart's glove, excuse me.
So Haskin is aboard second now in scoring position with 2 away as White working on Bender. 1-on-1 count at the plate. White looking over at Haskin at second. Now delivers a 1-1 pitch breaking ball. This is out of the zone, so count now 2-1. Bender this summer for the Gulls. 345 at the plate. 4 doubles. Now White on the 2-1. Haskin takes off for third. This ball is going to be popped up towards the line and right and slicing out of play. So count now even at 2.
Looked like it bounced off the
top of the warehouse over
top
there.
of the warehouse, yeah. Shows no balls have gone through it.
Not yet.
Maybe tonight.
Yeah. White looking on out of the stretch, delivers 2-2 pitch that's going to be softly grounded right back to him. He gloves it, jots on over to first and flips it over to Brickman for out number 3. So no runs crossed for the Gulls here in the first off of no hits and 1 error as they leave 1 stranded. Heading into the top of the second, New Bedford leads Newport 1-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
World Wide Web and on DVD. This is Newport Gulls Baseball on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
1-0 here in Newport as New Bedford leads the Gulls. Here in the top of the second, Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Fuse. This first pitch going to be bunted down the third base line. Malloy coming in, fields, and there is no throw to first. So first pitch, single for Tommy Seidel to lead things off for the Bay Sox. We're also joined in the booth by the commissioner of the NECBL, Sean McGrath. Sean, thank you for joining us here tonight.
Happy to be here. It's always a pleasure to visit Cardines and see the Gulls in action here in a beautiful setting on a beautiful June night. And again, it's a sign that summer has arrived in New England.
This pitch is going to be grounded over to James at short. Fields off at 2 hops. Throws to second for 1. Over to first in time for 2. So 6-4-3 double play. And there's quickly 2 away here in the second.
That was a sharp double play turn right there.
Wasn't it? Tough up for James, and he fielded it well. Yeah. Now, starting with you, I know you're the commissioner now, but you actually started in this league as a player.
Yes, it wasn't quite the same status back in the 1996, 1997 when there was 5 teams traveled in 15 passenger vans. Our farthest trip was 2 hours to Worcester, coming from Danbury. But it was high-level competition, and for a New England, player, New England, college baseball players, couldn't ask for a better opportunity again to compete. But to see where it has evolved in 25 years.
This whole 1 pitch to Brown is going to be flown out of play towards the bullpens and left 0-2.
Yeah, after 25 years to see what it's turned into, it's pretty spectacular, and again, just a great tribute and. To our founders, Joe Constantino, again, who we lost last year, and the season was dedicated in his memory. Just to have that vision back in 1994 to create another summer collegiate baseball league in New England. We're very proud of where we've come and where we're at, and really excited about the next 25 years.
Well, part of that trajectory, at least for you, and the league. But for you specifically, you were a player. This one's going to be lined into the right center gap, so Elijah Brown is aboard with a 2-out single. So the lineup flips over now for New Bedford. You started as a player in the league, and then you became the GM of North Adams. What was that experience like?
So as a North Adams resident, when I was in college, I had to go away to play summer ball. And then in 2002, a team developed in North Adams. The North Adams Steeplecats was found. At the time, I was coaching college baseball at Williams College, and ended up joining the Steeplecats in 2002 as the first base coach, hitting coach for that team. And that was, a great opportunity to be in the dugout. One of our catchers, Bobby Wilson, has had a long-time Major League Baseball career. He's been bouncing around last couple of years, AAA and back in the big leagues. But he was a special one. We're still in touch, and he was the first Steeplecat that really made a name for himself in the big leagues. And then 2 years later, had the opportunity to join the organization in the general manager position. Again, just 3 years removed from playing professional baseball myself. It was kind of something I didn't know if I was ready for. Had the experience certainly as a player and as a coach, but recruiting and leading in that manner is very different. It's a fine balance between the community aspect and the players and the player development. At times, baseball is easier. The hardest thing is to do what Newport does here and put 2,000 fans in the attendance and have a great on-field entertainment and really make an impact in the community and the families and the kids. Sometimes that's harder than putting a
Runner takes off for second. Throw from Ceruto's in time for out number 3. So New Bedford doesn't score any here in the top of the second off of 2 hits.
That was a great pickup by the second baseman there for Newport to pick that and put the tag on.
Heading into the bottom of the second, New Bedford still leads the Gulls 1-0. And so you mentioned really good player, transitioned to coaching a little bit, and then a GM. Do you miss the coaching days? Do you miss the playing days? Which one do you miss more, GM even?
As a player, we always want to play.
Everyone misses the playing days.
Yeah, you want to play, you want to lace them up, and then you want to coach. You want to coach for as long as you can. Right now, this is my my experience with the game. This is where I'm able to still stay involved, be around the game, be around some great baseball people. And it's, so I truly appreciate the opportunity to be in this position. And, I was a general manager for 9 years in North Adams, and this was a new opportunity. And it was it was a different opportunity, a big challenge to work with 13 teams. But I will say, when you run a team, you worry about your team. It's your community, your team. And to have 6 years under my belt, going around the league and really observing all 13 teams, you really come to respect each of the organizations for who they are. What works well in Newport may not work well in Vermont, in Montpelier, the state capital. What works well in North Adams may not work well in New Bedford. And every community has strengths and weaknesses. Every facility has different strengths and weaknesses. And to see every organization kind of put their best foot forward is pretty special and something I value. And again, you do these summer collegiate baseball leagues out of your passion for the game, out of the goodness of your heart for your community. It's a labor of love. Nobody's out here for fame. It's really twofold.
Well, it really seems like a job around the clock. It doesn't seem like you guys have any break, but every year the league's getting bigger, the league's getting better, and that in itself is really rewarding because every year it shows progress.
Yes, and that's where I'm very proud of. I mean, for 2 months out of the year, we compete, and we want to put our best foot forward on the field. Right now, everybody's looking at the game. We're going to look at the scoreboard. We keep standings. Wins and losses do matter. At the end of the day, though, we spend 10 months in the offseason. All these general managers, all these presidents, chairmen, treasurers, 10 months in the offseason planning for 2 months. And we're all in it together. So when we get to the boardroom in September, everybody's exhausted. Everybody's reflected back on the season, but they're already moving forward with the 2020 season. And everybody has that mutual respect and admiration for what they're going through right now, knowing, hey, June's going to come in 2020, and it's going to be a great season in everybody's ballparks.
Well, I tell you what, one of the coolest things I thought was waking up this morning, and everyone talks about NECBL, the second best league in collegiate baseball, summer ball, which is already incredible as Malloy lines this one past Blandini. It ends up in left, so Justin Henry Malloy is aboard with the leadoff single. it's already, such a prestigious league, but then you wake up and you see the Mystic Schooners as the number 5 ranked team in all the nation for summer collegiate baseball teams. How special is that?
There's two parts. I love it when we're ranked high and it looks pretty, right?
Right.
That's a very hard ranking.
That's true.
You have teams in California, you have teams all throughout the country, different competition, different level. And if you're just measuring, records,
tough.
That's certainly not a fair assessment. So I love it. Obviously, it's great recognition. It's great publicity. It's something to tweet about and Facebook, Instagram, you name it. But at the end of the day, whether they give us that stamp of approval or not, I think everybody in our league knows that we're putting our best foot forward. And again, you'll take the publicity certainly. But I know Dennis Long is not running his organization in Mystic, focusing on those accolades. He cares deeply about his players and maximizing their ability and their experience, and it shows. They've been one of the most successful organizations in the entire country in the last 6 years, between draft picks and in winning percentage in summer collegiate baseball. So they have their own little formula there. It's a different formula than Newport and other teams, but it works for Mystic. And again, that's a great recognition of just the unique individuality of all of our ballpark facilities and organizations.
Yeah, I think that's a great point you bring up. And I think that goes back to your other point that some organizations have some strengths that work there and some weaknesses. And necessarily the formula that works in Newport doesn't work somewhere else. But the justification from that level doesn't necessarily ring true for everything around here. So.
There's a lot of different measurements at the end of the year. Certainly we're going to.
Bosick grounds one through the 3-4 hole and ends up in right field. So 2 straight singles for the Gulls. Runners on first and second with no away here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, certainly we're going to hand out a big trophy, the Fay Vincent Senior Cup, which is similar to the Stanley Cup. I mean, it's an impressive trophy. It might not be a Stanley Cup, but to put your name on that trophy, it's going to have 75 years eventually of champions listed on that trophy. It's a pretty special trophy, but that's one measurement. Major League Baseball, our contribution to Major League Baseball is another measurement, and we care deeply about our relationship with Major League Baseball and vice versa.
This one from Tours pops straight up in the shallow center field, calling everyone off his heart. Now coming over all the way from shortstop is Blandini for out number 1.
But again, there's only going to be one team that's going to win their last game of the year. And I, as a general manager for 9 years, I never brought home the Fay Vincent Senior Cup, but there are some great successes that we're very proud of. The community aspect of it, what we do back in the community. I mean, what Chuck and Chris Patsos and Ryan with the Newport Gulls, what they do back here in the community, regardless of what happens on the field, is absolutely priceless and an enormous success. It's really special. And if nobody knows about the NECBL, I mean, we're all 13 charitable organizations. The NECBL, the league itself, is a nonprofit entity, and they thrive and do this out of the goodness of their heart. It's a passion for the game and the community, and wins and losses are certainly one measurement. But at the end of the season, all 12 team organizations have an opportunity to reflect back on what they've done for their players, what they've done for the community, and there's a lot of great successes. And for many players, this is one of their best experiences playing baseball.
Yeah, I think a lot of the players have already talked about, that outreach to the community. Ceruto takes a big hack at this one and misses. Strike 1 to Ceruto. But already, that outreach to the community and how they felt a special bond here at Newport. And how this is already some of their favorite summers, not just from baseball, but just that outreach to the community and that bond that they already feel. Going to school, reading to the kids, and something that they just don't necessarily have back home, and that the NECBL can provide.
Yeah, it's funny. I've heard scouts, I didn't quite expect this, but I've heard scouts say they love coming to NECBL to see how players compete in the summer, because it is different than the college.
Ceruto shatters a bat. He's going to have to fetch a new one, as that one's only good for toothpicks.
College, when college has a program, it's a 4-year program. The coach has a vision. He's bringing in new players each and every year. How do you fit in that program may change from year to year. You come here for 2 months. You got 44 games. You got players from all around the country. everybody's in a foreign territory. You bond just by living with a host family and being in a foreign territory. You bond on the bus trips. You spend a lot of time together, and the scouts like it because the kids are a little bit more relaxed. You know, it's a little, you know, there's a lot of philosophies around the league. One of them is, you know, June is fun, and July is, you know, we start trying to navigate, you know, be a little more strategic on the strategy on the field, and then August is for championships.
Yeah, I think it's you know, that sentiment. You can tell these guys are a lot more relaxed, and they're becoming more relaxed. They all become bonded with each other. And summer ball is a lot of fun for them, but you still have that competitive atmosphere, and I think that's what makes this league so special.
Yeah, I had situations where we had pitchers that would throw.
This one's going to be grounded hard to third. Throw to the plate in time for out number 1. Throw home. Going to be over the head of Brickman. End up in right. Coming around to score is Vosick from third. And they're going to wheel home Justin Henry Malloy. Excuse me. Actually, Peter Ceruto. So he will score as well. And moving up to the plate is actually, we're going to have a ruling.
The umpire is calling the catcher's interference, I think, on the slide at home,
yeah,
on the attempt for a double play.
So Malloy.
He made it pretty quick.
And Malloy interfered on the throw.
Whoa.
Good catch there from Sean McGrath, our commissioner of the league.
As a former
but
position player back in the day in pro ball, when you could do that, you know, the Mets, you certainly were trained in a play like that. You're not sliding. You're not sliding into home plate. You got to break up double play as if they're turning 2.
And you know, when I looked over, I thought I saw a leg flare up, and it was the catcher's buck. So it was catcher interference from Malloy as he slid in. Kevin Winterroad, the coach, arguing, but not much of an argument, as he understands he's not going to win that argument. You did see, if you look at the replay, Buck's leg interfered as he threw, and that might have been the reason why the throw ended up in right field. So,
and this is where I say, you know, that these umpires are NCAA trained, certified umpires. I am not. I don't know the rule, and going to have to lean on the trained umpire for the proper ruling in that situation.
And so it will be a 5-1-3 double play to end the inning.
Back in the day, though, that would be a great
play.
That would make
play.
A lot of scouts would be very happy with, to say, hey, he went in hard and broke up the double play.
So no runs score for the Gulls in the second, and they head into the third down a run.
Yeah.
But, Sean, you've been with us a whole inning. We appreciate it. I know you're a busy man here in Newport. You want to enjoy the game, and you got a lot of people to meet. So, Sean McGrath, the commissioner of the NECBL, thank you for joining us here today.
Hey, great to be here. Have a great season. Again, I can't thank you all enough for bringing these games into the homes of our fans, our parents from around the country. I know they tune in nightly and look forward to following their kids' summer all year. And so thank you for all the great work that you all do. And Newport, again, nobody does it better. So keep up the great work.
The pleasure's all ours, trust me. So, Sean McGrath, everybody, as we head in to the third inning here in Cardines Field. Gulls trail 1-0. And getting everyone caught up, it was bases loaded for the Gulls. There's a ground ball to the third base side, and the throw went to home. Buck had it, and Malloy slid in as Buck was throwing to first, and Malloy clipped his back foot. The throw ended up in right field, but because he clipped his back foot, runner's interference, causing an automatic out at first, which resulted in a double play, of course, ending the inning.
But that was a huge play, kind of just.
I mean,
that was a huge gift for the Bay Sox.
A huge gift. It would have given the Gulls the lead with 2 runs. It would have been 2-1. So a 2-run swing there, potentially more if the Gulls would have been able to score more. But nonetheless, it's 1-0. It's this first pitch here in the third from Marks to Winkler, a breaking ball in there for strike 1.
But I mean, that's what you're looking for. If especially if you're Mike White, you have the bases loaded with 1 out. You're just trying to get out of this with as minimum as possible damage.
Now, big swing from Winkler. Strike 2 and a fastball over the heart of the plate. I tell you what, though, I think that was the right call, and that's just one of the developments in the game that has, occurred over the years. This pitch is going to be chopped over to Malloy at third. He fields off a couple hops, throws to first in time. Winkler, once again, another example of a leadoff man, almost able to hustle that one out on a slow grounder, but It is 1 out here to start the third. First leadoff man retired for New Bedford.
A great job by Malloy there, just making sure he got in front of the ball and that he knew that Winkler does have speed coming out of the box, but got the out in time.
Got the out in time. Now, going back to that, it was, I think the rule change is a good one because it is player safety, but this first pitch to Blandini's in there for strike one. What Sean McGrath, the commissioner of the NECBL, mentioned, back in the day, that's an absolutely clean play. That's actually what you're taught to do, is slide in and try to break that play up. As now this 0-1 pitch popped back into the screen, 0-2.
I mean, the game has evolved over the years, and we do see those different rules come into effect, and even though maybe
now this 0-2 pitch lunged at from Blandini and grounded foul.
I'm sure some old school baseball coaches back in the Little League, if you were a catcher, they would still tell you how to play, and then also if you're running to the catcher, how to run at them. But throughout the past few years, we saw it from the MLB, and now the rules have trickled down.
This 0-2 pitch flown into center, going back is Haskin as he creeps into the shadows, and he's there for out number 2. This is the first time all night that the 2 leadoff guys for New Bedford have been retired. 0-2 away here in the top of the third.
But here's Jake Suttleson, and it's every time he steps into the batter's box, Steven, I get excited.
Everyone kind of gets on the edge of their seats, or at least you and I do, because we know what he can bring to the table.
9 for 14.
This first pitch from Marks catches the bottom edge of the zone. 0-1.
As now
so they're going to call time at the plate.
I guess there was a water bottle on the side of the field.
They're going to have to go fetch off.
Yeah.
Now we're ready for action. 0-1 from Marks out of the windup. Cuts into the zone. 0-2.
Suttleson kind of shaking his head after that called strike, but I mean that was kind of right in there.
Yeah, I mean it was a nice breaking ball from Marks, but you're right. I mean broke right into the heart of the plate. So count now. 0-2 to Suttleson. Another fastball. Misses inside, backing Suttleson off the plate a little bit. So
making Suttleson a little uncomfortable here.
So Marks ahead in this count. 1-2. Bottom of the second. Top of the third. Excuse me. I'm all over the place. New Bedford's leading Newport 1-0. Now this 1-2 breaking ball going to be grounded over to Malloy. Over the bag, past the diving Malloy, and in towards the bullpens in left. Rounding first is Suttleson, heading for second, and he'll be aboard with a double. And I think they're going to go over. Maybe rule a ground rule double or say it was out of play. But either way, Suttleson is aboard second.
And that's his 10th hit in his 4th game.
10th hit in his 4th game. And that makes him, 10 for 15?
Yep.
And that is unimaginable.
Has a home run. Batted in 3 RBIs. Unbelievable.
And he's the go-to guy for the Bay Sox. This first pitch to Brickman's in there for strike one. Brickman, another threatening bat at the plate, hitting .304 this summer. Coming into this game for the Bay Sox. Already has a single here today. Now this 0-1. Fastball catches the outside edge. 0-2.
Another close pitch right on the corner there off the plate. But
Marks looking on over at second. Righty on righty matchup. Delivers 0-2 fastball line right back up the middle. Rounding third is Suttleson. Throw to the plate. Cut off from Tour. It's a relay throw over Ceruto's head. Now moving over to second is Brickman. It's going to get past Gustin and back up into Hudson Haskins' glove in center field. And so another run scores for New Bedford as they take a 2-0 lead off that single from Brickman as he moves up on the throw to the plate.
Another big hit by Brickman in a big situation. He had 2 clutch hits yesterday in last night's win against the Schooners. So Brickman definitely coming up clutch in the last few games, just making sure the Bay Sox don't leave any runners on, and that's what really hurt them early on in the season.
Yeah, great situational hitting for them here tonight. Another one in scoring position in Brickman as Raposa settles in. First pitch breaking ball misses outside. 2 away here in the top of the third. Bay Sox up 2-0 now over the Gulls. Marks looking on righty matchup. 1-0 fastball popped back into the screen. 1-1.
Raposa, a hometown favorite of New Bedford, Mass. That's his hometown and has played with the Bay Sox now in his second season.
That was 1-1 to the hometown favorite. Misses low and away. 2-1.
Great stop by Ceruto right there.
Yeah, known to be a defensive catcher, and he's doing quite well today. Had the one throw, couldn't get the runner caught stealing at third, but other than that, makes great defensive plays behind the plate. This one's going to be lined over towards the warehouse and out of play. 2-2.
And every time that sound effect hits, I think, uh-oh.
You think, uh-oh, better call Newport Glasses.
Yeah.
What do you think?
And just think why I didn't drive to this game.
This 2-2 pitch line back into the screen once again. So we'll go again. Count even at 2.
Raposa staying alive here. You can't leave Brickman over there at second base here.
Marks looking on over at Brickman at second. Now back to Raposa on the 2-2 breaking ball. Catches Raposa swinging for strike 3. Third strikeout of the day for Marks on the mound to get out of the inning, but not before he gives up another run as the Bay Sox now lead 2-0 heading into the bottom of the third here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the third, the Gulls trail the Bay Sox 2-0 here at Cardines Field. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Fuse, and the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, Zach Letson. And Zach, bottom of the third, let's get caught up on the games around the NECBL. Fill us in a little bit.
Well, Stephen, as we look around the league, the Mystic Schooners looking to become the first team in the NECBL this season to reach 10 wins. They're up 4-0 on the Ocean State Waves. The Vermont Mountaineers looking for their second straight win as they take on the Sanford Mainers, and they're up 2-0 in that ball game. Upper Valley and the Valley Blue Sox all tied up at 0. And North Adams looking to maintain that lead on the North Division, but currently trail the Keene Swamp Bats 3-1.
So a couple of close ones as his first pitch to Cavalieri misses outside. Ball 1. Of course, Mystic extending their lead on the Southern Division if they get a win tonight over Ocean State. This 1-0 pitch misses up 2-0. Of course, that would be actually good news, though, kind of in a way for the Gulls and Bay Sox, because, a team that's kind of battling for that second and third spot in the playoffs. With the Gulls and Bay Sox, there's 2-0 pitches in there for strike 1. Would be falling down the standings a little bit. Now, it's early, so there's a lot of movement that's bound to happen, but the Waves losing would help out these two teams here playing today, as Cavalieri is going to ground this one underneath Hart's glove at second and into right for a leadoff single.
Yeah, and exactly, Steven. And also to point to Zach, Battle of the Valleys, I like that one.
Yeah,
but
that's a good
especially, the season is so early on. And, almost like Commissioner McGrath was saying, in the first month, it's you can kind of test things out. And then once July hits, that's when things get more of the competitive factor. And that's when I kind of start looking at the standings.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree. And with so many rainouts, there's plenty of time for the standings to shape up a little bit more. As now this first pitch to Gustin misses up for ball 1. I like that, though, the Battle of the Valleys. I wonder if, they've used that at all a little bit.
Yeah, it's a very interesting battle. And actually, as we mentioned earlier, the Mystic in their pursuit.
So this 1-0 pitch line down the left field line and out of play.
Mystic in their pursuit of their 10th victory of the season. I mentioned that score was 4-0. Nolan Kissinger just hit a grand slam and extends that to an 8-0 Schooners lead.
8-0 Mystic. Look at that over the Ocean State Waves.
If you are a team in the Southern Division and you saw last night that Bay Sox defeated the Schooners, now this is how they're responding to that loss.
Don't want to upset Mystic. Now the throw over to Cavalieri at first. He's sliding back in time.
And proving why they're ranked, number 5 nationally among summer collegiate teams.
Yeah. Lots of talent over there at Mystic. Righty on lefty matchup for White on the mound. He's in his 3rd inning of work tonight. The starter for New Bedford. As he delivers this pitch to Gustin, misses outside. Count now 2-1. And you know what? I mean, we're talking about New Bedford coming into this one 3-8. Last week, you know, they're on a 2-game win streak. They're starting to heat up. And we talked about last week how they only won 1 game as this throw over to first. Cavalieri back in time. But we looked at their team and we said underneath the hood a little bit, this team's a lot better than their record shows. They're starting to heat up a little bit, but I still think their record doesn't do them justice with how good they actually are. As Mike White looking on, delivers 2-1 that misses outside, 3-1. And I think you talked about this a little bit on the Ocean State broadcast as well. 5.34 ERA on the year, but that doesn't tell the whole story, does it? No. When you look at the home and away splits, they're completely different, aren't they?
Yeah, and I mean, at Palm-Wash Field, the home of the Bay Sox, it is a complete pitching park.
Just throw over to Cavalieri once again. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at their home ERA, 2.79. Batting average against is .255. And then we look at their away, 6.63 road ERA, 3.20 average against.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the record, and it does show that's been a weak spot, is just.
As Cavalieri takes off for second, Gustin's going to line this one into left, and underneath it is Raposa. So going back on the play is Cavalieri, but he didn't pick it up in time, and so he's actually tagged out on the play as he was heading back to first. So it's a 7-4, your typical 7-4 double play.
Mike White again in a little trouble here. And again, the defense coming big here at the Bay Sox, for the Bay Sox tonight.
Well, I tell you what, I was looking at their stats. 2.55 average against them at home. That's like pitching against Jesse Winker at home, and then pitching against a 3.20 average. That's like pitching against Mike Trout on the road.
Oh,
it's completely banana land out here. This pitch is going to be popped
good.
Up to Winkler at third for out number 3. So in an unorthodox way, 3 up, 3 down for the Gulls here in the bottom of the 3rd. Heading into the 4th, the Gulls trail the Bay Sox 2-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
You are loyal.
Top of the 4th here in Newport. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Fuse. And since it's the top of the 4th, I'm going to send things over to Alex. Alex, take it away.
Well, thank you, Stephen and Zach. And as Zach Buck, the catcher, digs in, it's just like that, ball outside from Marks. So 1-0 count here on Zach Buck, the catcher, product from Holy Cross University. And the 1-0 pitch cut on a miss, so 1-1 count here on Zach Buck. Buck and Michael Goodrich, the 2 catchers for the Bay Sox, are splitting catching duties. Goodrich caught last night. Came into last night's game against the Schooners, and the 1-1 outside for a ball. So 2-1 here now on Zach Buck. Goodrich came into last night's game against the Schooners 0 for 16, but he went 2 for 4 last night. And the pitch 2. Buck is in there for a called strike.
Well, that's a way to get out of a slump, isn't it?
Yeah, and once Goodrich kind of got a line drive right up the middle into center field, you could see as he was running on the first base line, a fist bump in the air, and the 2-2 pitch of Buck in there for a called strike 3 looking. So down goes Zach Buck, so 1 away here in the top of the 4th. Bay Sox do have a 2-0 lead as Tommy Seidel, the right fielder for the Bay Sox, and his first at-bat of the game and only at-bat so far came in the top of the 2nd, He had a bunt single down the 3rd base side. Now Seidel 5 for 14 on the season. Does have a home run, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, and the first pitch to Seidel is in there for a called strike.
I tell you what, Seidel at the plate hit 308 this summer for you. New Bedford, and he's hitting the 7-hole. A lot of teams have top-heavy lineups, and if you're Newport,
1 pitch in there for a called strike low.
A lot of times
got right in there for a strike, so 0-2 count on Seidel.
Newport likes to slip in a 9-hole hitter that can, really hit for average. Usually it's Greg Cavalieri who's hitting leadoff. But a 308 hitter and a 280 hitter
0-2 pitch in there for the 2nd strikeout of the inning. And just like that, 2 gone at the top of the 4th. And both strikeouts looking?
I know he struck out here, but still hitting over 300. And now Brian Hart at the plate hitting 280. This is a really balanced lineup for New Bedford. They're up 2-0 only here in the fourth. They're really threatening here today. It's a really dangerous lineup all the way through. There's no easy at-bats.
Brian Hart shows a bunt. It's bunted foul to the backstop. Hart last time up was victim of a 6-4-3 double play. A great play by James over there at short to get out of the trouble for Marks as he. That was the start of the bunt single as there's a called strike right on the corner. So now once again, Marks in a 0-2 count here on another Bay Sox hitter.
When you look at this lineup, the worst hitter, second worst hitter, the 8th hitter in the lineup.
0-2 pitch. Down goes swinging Brian Hart. So 3 strikeouts this inning for Jordan Marks. So after 3.5 innings of play here at Cardinals Field, it's 2-0 Bay Sox here on the NECBL Broadcasting Network. Welcome everybody back here to Cardinals Field. Alex Reed alongside Stephen Huff and Zach Lutzen as we are entering the bottom of the 4th inning of play. It's 2-0 Bay Sox. And really, Mike White has been able to get out of any trouble that he's been faced with.
Yeah, he's pitched great so far. I mean, no wonder that, he's really been the go-to guy for New Bedford so far this season. Through 3 innings, he's only given up 3 hits. Looks to keep things rolling the second time through the lineup. Hasn't really faced any trouble so far.
So as Mike White finishes up his warm-up pitches in the bottom of the 4th. First pitch swinging, Bender lines out right into center field in front of Ray Chimet. So just like that, another leadoff base hit here for the Gulls.
And Colton Bender, been one of those guys for the Gulls that always puts in good at-bats. 345 average for the Gulls coming into tonight. Just one of those guys that you can kind of trust to, get things going if they're in a rut.
Bender does have a little speed over there, has a stolen base so far this season. And as Justin Henry Malloy, the third baseman, steps into the batter's box, White deals and a strike on the corner. So 0-1 count here on Malloy. Malloy singled in the second, so now 5 for 18 on the season. Has 6 walks, so he does look at a lot of pitches. As White gives a little look over to first. White out of the stretch and a ball low downstairs.
Malloy, big bat at the plate, but like you said, 6 walks towards the top in the team. And he came in late, one of the late arrivals. And so that just goes to show how good of an eye he has at the plate, one of the more disciplined hitters at the plate.
Runner on first, no outs here in the bottom of the 4th. The 1-1 pitch in there for a called strike. Went for an off-speed pitch that got him right on the corner right there. So 1-2 count here on Justin Henry Malloy.
And that one was a close pitch, and he laid off. And that's just that's really the only way you're going to beat him if you're looking for a strikeout is on the edges at the black.
White set, and the 1-2 pitch up high, got a piece of him. So just like that, runners on first and second after hit by a pitch. No outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
And this is similar to the inning in the second, how Mike White started. The first 2 runners got on. Next one popped out in tours, but bases did get loaded in that inning, and so chance for Brett Vosick, who singled in his first at-bat, to do the same here or start moving the runners along and scoring some runs for the Gulls.
So here's Brett Vosick, runners on first and second, no outs here at the bottom of the 4th. Righty on lefty matchup, and Vosick looks at a ball outside, just outside.
Vosick, another one of those guys, a lot of power, can't hit for average, but can really pull the ball. But another guy, 5 walks on the year, so really disciplined at the plate. Isn't afraid to make a pitcher work.
And the pitch in there for a called strike on Vosick. So 1-1 count here on Brett Vosick. Playing right field tonight for the Gulls. Runners on first and second, no outs in the inning. White gives a look over to second. The 1-1 pitch outside for a ball. So 2-1 now, falling behind on Brett Vosick. Vosick singled in the second.
I think that's what makes Malloy and Vosick following each other in the order so dangerous. They're not going to chase anything outside of the zone, and so if Mike White's just missing.
And the pitch swinging hits that one foul out of play. Goes right into the stands here at Cardinals Field.
if Mike White's just missing, Malloy didn't help him at all, and Vossick's not going to help him at all. They're only going to swing at pitches that are over the plate and that they think they can get the barrel on.
So 2-2 count here on Brett Vossick. Vossick product from Kansas City University. And the 2-2 pitch popped it up, and it makes its way foul out of play again. Almost in the same spot, but it goes over the bleachers this time. So Vossick really liking that third base side in foul territory.
Yeah, and he's got it has a lefty hitter, so he likes to pull it, but he can spray it all around the field, especially with 2 strikes. So isn't afraid just to put the bat on the ball.
White set. Looks over at second base. And the 2-2 pitch to Vossick in the dirt for a ball. So now Vossick working this at bat back into his favor, making it full.
And honestly, that's a pitcher's pitch right there. 2-2 count. You had him swinging on the past 2 pitches. You throw a nice breaking ball that just drops off the table outside underneath the zone. But Vossick, a smart, disciplined hitter, laid off that one. But great pitch from White.
White throws back over to second base. Did he get him? No, just.
And the last couple pitches before he threw, White kept looking over there. Bender was hopping around. And the last one before, he stared at Bender a little bit longer than most. And so I'm not surprised to see him testing the waters over there, seeing if he could get him.
Pick-off attempt by White, too.
They nearly got him.
And the payoff pitch of Vossick swinging. Vossick hits a sharp liner right up the middle to the right field, holding at third. So just like that now, bases loaded with no outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Bay Sox in some true trouble right here.
Yeah, and it's a shallow right field, only 285 down the right field line. And so a product of that Seidel playing a little bit more in than most right fielders would normally play at a normal, length field. And so that's why Bender was held up at third, because it's not as long of a throw as a normal right field might be.
As Buck is now having some words with home plate umpire, as now home plate umpire is going to have a conference as it looks like they're looking at the bat. So they're looking at the bat and they're deciding whether or not it's league mandated, it looks like, as this is interesting.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one before, and from our perspective, it doesn't look like anything different from what we've seen.
And now it looks like third base umpire is now.
Oh.
So they're calling Vossick out?
And I don't know.
So now third base umpire is handing the bat back out of. This is. So score that. A 2 unassisted by the catcher. But you have to give it to Zach Buck, the catcher. I want to know what was wrong with the bats, and if now, what other bats. As they took the bat out of the hands of Vossick. And
it's ruled an illegal bat, and we don't know exactly why. Nonetheless, Vossick is ruled out on the play.
So Mike White now, again, getting out of some little trouble here. So now 1 away in the inning, runners on first and second. So here's Ryan Tours, the first baseman, popped it up to Blandini in the second. Interesting. So now back to first is Malloy, and back to second base is Bender. Vossick out as Tours fouls that to the backstop, so a 0-1 count on Ryan Tours.
So Vossick is going to have to borrow someone's bat for the rest of the night. I wonder if he used that bat in his first plate appearance. He did single, and I wonder if someone was tipped off about that in his first plate appearance, and then in the second plate appearance said something.
And again, Vossick being a left-handed batter is facing now hitting Coach Teddy over there at third, as Tours looks at a called strike. And again, acting manager tonight is Coach Teddy Regan, the hitting coach of the Bay Sox. So maybe Coach Teddy has spent his entire life around the game of baseball. Maybe he did notice something over there at third base.
Yeah, that's one of those small details that coach that's surrounded
White
by
deals
the
on
game.
the 0-2 pitch. staying alive. Tours fouls that one back.
Surrounded by the game his whole life, you know, might pick up on.
And especially maybe just like off the sound of the bat. And then also, you know, Zach Buck being
a catcher, he's up and close and he's seeing it. And so maybe after the first at bat, and we're just you know, making guesses out here, but maybe, you know, the coach said something and Buck picked up on it and looked at the bat after the second plate appearance.
Now 3 innings in a row, strange outs for the Gulls.
That's for sure.
And the 0-2 pitch fouled back again. So staying alive in an 0-2 count. Ryan Tours, great job by Tours here, just making White work for this 0-2 at bat.
Yeah, Tours another guy that battles at the plate. He's making White work here.
So runners on first and second, 1 away in the inning. At the bottom of the fourth, it's a 2-0 Bay Sox lead as White deals the 0-2 pitch up high for a ball. So 1-2 count here on Ryan Tours.
And I think, you know, White, excellent pitcher, still 1-2 count. Tours has making him more, but still has some pitches to play with, so doesn't have to come into the zone just yet.
White set. Tours set. And the 1-2 pitch low for a ball.
I tell you what, he didn't miss by much and said he doesn't have to come into the zone just yet. That's another pitcher's pitch. Fastball low. If Tours swings, either missing or he's getting probably not the greatest contact on it because fastball low, Tours might be late on it, hasn't been able to get the barrel around on anything just yet. So a great pitch from White.
And the 2-2 pitch to Tours, swung on, hit sharply foul on the first base side.
I tell you what, just like we said though, every time we're together, something incredible happens.
Unbelievable.
Wade McGrath in the booth.
Trevor Kelly.
Extra innings.
And then we get the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, hit very deeply into the outfield. Raposa and Brown are both going to look at that as it's going to drop in there for a basing clearing, or excuse me, 1 run will score. Staying at third is Malloy, and cruising to second base on a double is Ryan Tours. So just like that, it's a 2-1 Bay Sox lead here in the bottom of the fourth. So Gulls chipping away here at the bottom of the fourth. 2-1. Now tying run at third as now pitching coach Rudy's going to come out to the mound and make a call to the bullpen. So we are here with 1 away in the bottom of the fourth inning of play here at Cardians Field. It's 2-1 Bay Sox here on the NECBL Broadcasting Network, powered by Stretch. And welcome everybody back here to Cardians Field. Alex Rude alongside Stephen Hoff and Zach Lepton. And this call to the bullpen by the Bay Sox, it brings in Christian Rosati, a right-handed pitcher from Southeastern University. Rosati making his 6th appearance of the season, has pitched in 6 innings and 2/3, 7 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 8 hits. His last appearance came against Ocean State, closed out the game, pitched in 2 innings and 2/3, gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. So Rosati also has a hot streak coming out of the bullpen here, and he is in a tough situation. Runners on second and third with 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Gulls just they added 1, and it hits him. It hits Cerruto, the catcher, so that once again loads the bases up here in the bottom of the fourth. So second hit by a pitch this inning. So now here's Austin James, the shortstop for the Gulls, coming into a huge situation. Gulls tacked on 1 run so far this inning, making it a 2-1 Bay Sox lead here in the bottom of the fourth. So now with 1 away in the inning, bases loaded for the Gulls here.
Yeah, not exactly how you want to enter a game necessarily. So tough for Rosati, but he does have good stuff. So I know it's a tough situation, but
James hit into a double play in his last at bat. Rosati deals, and it's a ball low for a 1-0 count here. And Austin James, the shortstop.
Still a chance. I mean, a double play could get him out of the gym just like that.
You know, especially that's what you're looking for. As Rosati deals a 1-0 in there for a called strike right on the corner.
Already working a lot of his breaking ball in his first 2 pitches to Austin James.
Yeah, this is what Rosati really throws, is his, you know, off-speed pitches and some change-ups as well. As a 1-1 has popped it up over to Raposa. Raposa running in on it. and Raposa will be there. Looked like Malloy was going to tag, but he holds up. So it's a pop fly over to Andrew Raposa in left field. So now 2 outs here with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 4th. 2-1 Bay Sox lead. At the top of the lineup rolls over for Greg Cavalieri, the left fielder. Had a base hit in the bottom of the 3rd, but was victim of a strange double play. A fly out to Raposa, and he got doubled up, got caught sleeping over there as the first pitch is in there for a called strike on Cavalieri, so 0-1 count. Bases still loaded here in the bottom of the 4th with 2 outs in the inning. Rosati coming into a tough situation. Runners on 2nd and 3rd, and the 0-1 is downstairs for a ball. So 1-1 count here on Cavalieri. Now Rosati came into this game with 1 out only in the inning with runners on 2nd and 3rd. He hit a batter as the 1-1 is in the dirt. Great stop by Buck, making sure that did not go to the backstop. That would ultimately most likely score a run if it did. So now a 2-1 count here on Cavalieri. Bases loaded, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. 2-1 Bay Sox lead as Rosati Dio swinging. Hits it over to Brian Hart, the second baseman. Tosses over to Blandini at short to end the inning and to get out of trouble. Unbelievable. Is that amazing or is that amazing? 3 innings in a row, Bay Sox were able to get out of huge situations here at Guardians Field. So after 4 innings of play, it's 2-1 Bay Sox here on the NECBL Broadcasting Network powered by Stretch. And welcome everybody back here to Guardians Field as we enter the top of the 5th inning of play. Alex Fuse alongside Stephen Hoff, the voice of the Newport Gulls, and sideline reporter Zach Letson. Due up for the Bay Sox, Elijah Brown, Jack Winkler, and Thomas Blandini. Brown singled in his last at-bat. Winkler 1 for 2 on the night, and Blandini also 1 for 2 on the night.
Elijah Brown leading off for the Bay Sox. 262 this spring for
Brown,
Sacred Heart.
Brown swinging at the first pitch, fouls it back.
And that's hitting out of your 9-hole. You look at all these hitters. We were talking about just an inning ago how threatening everyone is. There's not really a weak spot in this lineup. You look at the 8th lowest average in the Bay Sox lineup. That would be the 5th best hitter on the Ocean State Waves.
Brown swinging again, making it an 0-2 count, fouled it away again on the third base side. Very busy over there if you're sitting on the third base side in foul territory.
But the 8th best average in this lineup for the Bay Sox is the 5th best average of the Waves yesterday in their lineup. And that's not picking on the Waves.
0-2 in there for a called strike 3. So once again, a strikeout looking on the Bay Sox offense. So 4 strikeouts in a row, or 5 strikeouts, excuse me, for Jordan Marks.
5 strikeouts in a row for Marks. He's absolutely dealing 7 on the day. And he's been a guy that hasn't been, high strikeouts yet, so it's good to see him. One of his goals is to be working lower in the zone. He's been getting guys to be looking at those pitches.
As Winkler looks at a called strike on the corner. So Winkler 1 for 2 on the night. Had a base hit to lead things off for the Bay Sox in the top of the 1st. And the 0-1 to Winkler hit foul out of play.
But going back to that point about the averages for the Bay Sox, I'm not picking on the Waves at all.
Absolutely not.
I'm just going back to this Bay Sox record, 3-8, doesn't show how good this team actually is. They're a lot better than what their record shows.
0-2 pitch swinging as Winkler hits a foul once again, making Marks earn for this out right here. Marks definitely looking for strikeout number 6 in a row and strikeout number 8 of his day, or night, I should add. And the 0-2 caught on and missed. Down goes swinging. So unbelievable. Now 6 strikeouts in a row for Jordan Marks on the mound. 8th of the game.
Yeah, someone stop this man on the mound.
Well, Thomas Blandini climbs into the batter's box, definitely looking to end this strikeout rally by Jordan Marks.
Zackerson, the pitching coach for the Gulls, said before the game, if he's able to work lower in the zone and be more consistent with it, he could be a really dangerous pitcher on the mound to stop, and I think we're seeing that here tonight.
First pitch swinging, flies it out to left field. Cavalieri is going to be there to make the play and to end the inning. So Blandini ends a strikeout rally. So after 4.5 innings of play, it's 2-1 Bay Sox here on the NECBL Broadcasting Network, powered by Stretch.
Hey.
And welcome everybody back here to Cardines Field. Once again, Alex Fuse alongside the voice of the Newport Gulls, Stephen Hoff, and the sideline reporter for the Gulls, Zach Lutzen. As we enter the bottom of the 5th inning to play, in between innings, we had a great moment by home plate umpire Swayze back there, trying to throw the baseball to win himself an SUV, but I'm sure he was not qualified enough. But he gave it a shot, so why next time in Newport, I think we should both try it.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
As Jake Gustin climbs into the batter's box, swinging at the first pitch, flies it over to second baseman Brian Hart. No one's there. Rosati covers and to get the out. Unbelievable by Rosati, who's definitely not the flightest of feet on the mound, and getting over to first base in time to get the speedy Jake Gustin.
Yeah, a lot of times, that's the trouble that, first basemen and pitchers run into is who's covering the bag. The pitcher has trouble getting over there in time. And then a lot of people overlook the throw to the pitcher, catching him in stride, and the pitcher stepping on the base in stride. But it looked seamless there.
And here's Hudson Haskins, reaching on an error by a throw of Winkler in the first as he looks at a ball in the dirt. So 1-0 count here on Haskins. And the 1-0 pitch, swinging, lines that one straight into left field, bouncing right in front of Raposa. So it's a base hit for Hudson Haskins. So 1 for 2 on the night. Second time he's reached base so far this game.
Yeah, and he's a guy that's been, I mentioned, heating up a little bit, but a product of that, not just getting used to the bats here and maybe getting warmed up, he's been putting a lot of work off the field, making sure he's getting into the cages on the off days, just trying to get out of that slump and just trying to be a better batter all around. His work ethic is phenomenal, and a really coachable guy, really likable guy as well.
So here's Colin Bender. Rosati checks back over to first, but Haskins is back in time. So Bender, 1 for 2 on the night. Singled right in front of Brown. And the throw, and runner going, Haskins is in there for a stolen base.
Yeah, second stolen base of the night. No surprise to see him going, obviously. If you listen to Gulls games before, you know Avon Farms high school product out of Connecticut. Hudson Haskins holds their record for stolen bases over there. That was formerly held by George Springer.
That's
Houston
right.
Astros all-star outfielder.
Now Bender has a situation with a tying run on second base here in the bottom of the 5th. Rosati Dio's running and almost gets a piece.
Winterer, head coach of the Gulls, and he just got out of the way, showing that he still has quick feet over there.
Right, look at me, guys. I can still do that, And then we'll probably have a word with Colin Bender. Okay, next time, you're going to foul it. Not right at me.
He's having a good laugh about it, as of right now.
So bottom of the 5th, 1 away, runner on second base. It's a 2-1 Bay Sox lead as Rosati pitching out of the stretch here to Colin Bender. Bender has an 0-1 count. Rosati looking back over to second at Haskins as Hart runs over to force Haskins to slowly make his way back to second base. And the 0-1 pitch, swinging, hits it right over softly to shortstop. Winkler bobbles the ball, recovers, throws over to first. Got him! Wow, what a play by Winkler, who bobbled the ball but was able to recapture control of it and get Colin Bender at first. So moving to third on that play is Hudson Haskins.
Yeah, initially you thought, oh, here's an E6 and unforced there, and there might be runners on the corners. But way to stick with it, because a lot of guys, they boot a ball and they give up on a play, but Blandini sticking with it and getting it out there for New Bedford.
Here's Malloy, Justin Henry Malloy, looks at a ball almost in the left-hander batter's box there. Had a single to lead things off for the Gulls in the second, was hit by a pitch in the 4th. And the 1-0 pitch, caught on a miss. Did he go? No, he did not. Wow. It looked like he went around, but he did not. So it's a 2-0 count here on Malloy. Runner on third. That runner would tie this game, but there's 2 outs in the inning. Rosati deals. The 2-0 was hit foul again, almost. Winterow didn't even move that time.
He's the hot target over there, but, he's starting to not even care. He's been around the league quite a bit, though. I think he knows when, it's going to hit him and when not.
So 2-1 count here on Malloy. And the 2-1 pitch in there for a called strike.
3.
So strikeout looking, Malloy. So he must have did go around on that check swing. That would be my only guess. So after 5 innings of play here at Cardinals Field, it's a 2-1 Bay Sox lead here on the NECBL Broadcasting Network, powered by Stretch. And welcome everybody back here to Cardinals Field as we're into the top of the 6th inning of play. It's Alex Hughes alongside the voice of the Newport Gulls, Stephen Huff, and the sideline reporter tonight is Zach Letson. And due up for the Bay Sox here on the top of the 6th, Jake Suttleson, the designated hitter, the red-hot Jake Suttleson, 1 for 2 on the night with a double. Also batting behind him is Alex Brickman and then Andrew Raposa. So a big spot right here by the 3, 4, 5 hitters for the Bay Sox, looking to extend their 2-1 lead here on the Gulls. And still on the mound is Jordan Marks. Marks, 8 strikeouts so far this game. Looking for some insurance runs and some runs to give the Gulls a lead here, as been pitching masterfully here as Suttleson fouls that one back. So 0-1 count here on Suttleson. This is what you're looking for from Jordan Marks, and just hasn't been able to often score some runs to back him up on the mound.
And that would make it 2 straight nights for the Gulls.
0-1 pitch was up high for a ball, so 1-1 count here on Suttleson.
Two great pitching performances, and they got it from the starter, but also the bullpen out there. And just the bats haven't really followed up just yet.
2-1 pitch drilled to center field, but Haskins is going to be there to make the play. You could hear the power off the bat, but
struck it well, but just
right
a
at
little
Haskins.
bit. Yeah, and more towards center field than he'd probably like in Haskins. Great speed from Haskin and Cavalieri, so anywhere kind of in left or center, there's a chance that they get to it, because that was a fairly well-placed ball, but Haskin able to track on over for out number 1.
So here's Alex Brickman, 2 for 2 on the night, does have an RBI. Brickman's caught on a miss, but it's a catcher interference. So goes to first base, Alex Brickman. So what a strange baseball game tonight, Stephen.
We see it all when we're together, don't we?
Unbelievable. So going to first base on a catching interference as Alex Brickman. So now with 1 away here in the top of the 6th, here's Andrew Raposa, the left fielder, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Marks Theo swinging, fouls it right back up here. Did not flinch that time there, Stephen.
We're working on it.
Yep. So now Raposa and an 0-1 count. Brickman on first. Brickman, a 6'3", 265-pound first baseman over there. And the 0-1 pitch caught on a miss is Raposa. So now an 0-2 count here on Raposa with 1 away in the top of the 6th. Bay Sox do have a 2-1 lead.
If it makes you feel better, I know you flinched. Nick Bello, field reporter, you've worked with him here.
Yes.
He's been here 2 years, and he was with us up in the booth early on in the season. He flinched at a line drive, that was right back at us, and he's been with us for a while. So yeah, you're not alone. You're not alone.
It was early on in the game, just getting comfortable here at Cardinals Field. It's only my 2nd time in the ballpark. And the 0-2 pitch here, Raposa in the dirt. Cerruto had to make sure he knew where that ball was. It kind of got lost in the chalk there, right at home plate.
Nice block from Cerruto. Not that Brickman is, much of a threat to steal, but if the ball does get away, then he will move into scoring position.
And the 1-2 pitch for swing as Raposa lines it right over to second baseman Gustin. Gustin throws over to James onto first, in time for a double play and to end the inning. What a play by Gustin to James to Tours. So at the end of 5.5 innings of play here at Cardinals Field, 2-1 Bay Sox here on the NECBL Broadcasting Network, powered by Stretch.
You, our loyal fans, will be...
And welcome everybody back here to Cardinals Field as we enter the bottom of the 6th inning of play. New pitcher on the mound for the New Bedford Bay Sox. Matthew Thomas is coming onto the mound, and as we enter the bottom of the 6th inning of play, And Thomas's last appearance, it came against Newport last Monday. Thomas went 2 innings, gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, and no strikeout. So again, Thomas coming into a clean inning here as Brett Vosick, Ryan Tubers, and Peter Ceruto are coming up to the plate and due up this inning for the Gulls, as looks like Vosick got a different bat this inning.
Vosick new bat after, of course.
In there for a called strike to Vosick, so Vosick, an 0-1 count.
His last time up, he had a single, but then he was ruled out because of the illegal bat.
0-1 pitch to Vosick.
I mean, that has to be the first time, I know for me, that I've seen that. You too as well?
Yeah, I mean, maybe a couple times in high school to where, you know, it's not the league mandated, and the 1-1 to Vosick caught on a miss. So 1-2 count here now on Brett Vosick, bottom of the 6th. It's a 2-1 Bay Sox lead. You know, and I think it's definitely the first time in this summer that I've seen that. And the 1-2 pitch in there for a called strike 3 looking. So down goes Brett Vosick. So now 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, with Matthew Thomas coming into the day, that will officially close the book on Christian Rosati, who came in for relief of Mike White. He pitched 1 2/3 innings, gave up a hit, no runs, no walks, and no strikeouts.
So here's Ryan towards the first baseman, lines one right to Blandini, and off the glove of Blandini.
I think that would be a hit. I mean, it was a hard hit ball and tough hop for Blandini.
And they are going to give Tours the hit on that. So Tours now 2 for 3 on the night. That was a shot right at Blandini. Had a tough hop right there.
You saw him backpedaling already off the bat. And it was a hard hit ball, bounced off his glove, and then set him backpedaling even a couple more steps.
Throw over to first. Tours gets back in time. So here's Peter Ceruto, the catcher. Ceruto has 2 plate appearances, but not an at-bat. Walked and was hit by a pitch. So far, Ceruto popped that 1 foul out of play.
You know, he had another night where his first 2 plate appearances were hit by pitches as well. And so this guy, I mean, you got to feel for him. He gets on base at least, but not the way I'm sure he would like to.
So Thomas set, runner on first, 1 out, and the 0-1 pitch swung on and hit past, diving right out of the glove of a diving Winkler over there at third. So advancing to second is Tours, and it's going to be an infield base hit for Ceruto.
Yeah, and just as I said, he doesn't get on base the way he wants to. He does get on base the way he wants to. Nice hard ground ball down the third base line. Winkler, nice diving play to at least keep it near him and slow the ball down, because Tours would certainly advance, and I'm sure Ceruto would be thinking about it, but keeping the runners at bay for the Gulls. We're only on first and second, and Austin James due up at the plate. Still 1 away here for Newport, down a run.
And 2 very tough hits. Plays right at the shortstop, Blandini, and the third baseman Winkler.
Nothing New Bedford could have done to really do anything about those hits.
Here's Austin James, 0 for 2 on the night. Did hit into a double play in the second, as James looks at an off-speed pitch right down the middle there. So 0-1 pitch, or count now on James. Runners on first and second, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Bay Sox lead, and the pitch low for a ball. So count 1-1 here on James. Brickman playing behind the catcher Ceruto at first, so definitely in position to look for a double play, and the pitch low for a ball. So 2-1 count now here on James. Hart and Blandini are playing close to Tours over there. And Winkler guarding that third base line. And the pitch swung on, hit over to Seidel going back on that one. It's going to be above Seidel's head. It goes all the way to the fence. Scoring around third is Tours, holding up at third, and the play is going to be not in time. So it's a base hit and an RBI for Austin James. And just like that, Steven, it's a tied game here at Cardinals Field at the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, and a great piece of hitting from Austin James. Got a ball over the plate that he liked and hit it to the opposite field corner for a double. More importantly, the Gulls started hitting when they needed to. They had 2 opportunities with the bases loaded today, came away empty. Had an opportunity with a runner on third, 1 away, came away empty. And now Austin James hits in a run with that RBI double, and now there's one away with 2 runners in scoring position with a chance for the Gulls to take the lead.
And here's Greg Cavalieri, and the pitch outside for a ball. And Cavalieri coming into a situation, runners on second and third with 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Gulls just tied it up here at 2.
And this has been Newport's problem as of yesterday and today.
The pitch swung on, hit foul.
Leaving guys on base. We saw it early in the season. Now they've gotten a little bit better. But yesterday, 3-2 ball game. They left 8 guys on base, 4 in scoring position. And in a 1-run ball game, you just can't afford to do that. And then here today, another 1-run ball game. Now it's tied. And you look at those opportunities that they just didn't take advantage of. You're going to look back on those.
And the pitch outside. So 2-1 count here on Cavalieri. And exactly, I mean, coming into this situation, you're trying to stop and not allow the Bay Sox to continue the streak.
Exactly, yeah.
2-1 pitch, swung on, popped it up in the infield. Calling it off is Brian Hart, so Hart's going to be there to put it away. So 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, at the same time, yesterday you had to hand it to the Ocean State Wave pitchers because they got out of those jams so consistently. And you got to hand it to the Bay Sox pitchers as well because they've gotten out of jams so consistently. And now there's 2 away with 2 runners in scoring position for the Gulls. And if they're able to get out of this one too, on the Gulls side, that's why you're not coming away with these games. But on the Bay Sox side, that's why you're winning these games.
Gustin looks at a called strike right over the plate there. So 0-1 count here on Gustin. And to go off that, the Bay Sox have been so lucky just getting out of any situation that both White and Rosati both had to face. And the ball gets way outside.
I think they're going to call a balk on the play. And so runners will advance, and that will score a run for Newport.
That was, wow. What a huge mistake right there. It almost looked like Thomas lost his footing on that.
I think so, and I don't just agree with you, but there's some evidence to go along with that with the ball ending up, near some fence over there with the gate towards the field, not even at the backstop.
Wow.
That ball slipped out of his hand as I think one of his feet gave out.
Yeah. So now Gulls just took a lead, a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of 6th, so going to third on that balk is Austin James.
Well, Gulls hitting hasn't been great situationally, but catching a break there, and you got to feel for the Bay Sox because they've been unlucky in these games so far this season, catching another bad break right here.
1-1 pitch, swinging, hits that right into the netting.
And we've looked under the hood, and this team is better. This New Bedford team is better than the record shows. And it's cost the errors like that it's cost them some games in the past potentially. And now they're trailing because of it. I feel bad for them.
1-2 pitch, popped it up, making a run for his Winkler. It's going to make its way out of play.
But on the same side, it's still a 1-run game, so it's not the end-all be-all.
No, and there's 3 innings left for the Bay Sox to try to, and the offense has been shut down by Marks completely, and the 1-2 pitch outside again, so 2-2 count here now on Gustin. Gulls took a 3-2 lead here in this inning.
But the Gulls are going to have to turn to the bullpen at some point, so that might be the chance for the Bay Sox to get there.
2-2 pitch. Flown out to right field, or popped it up in the infield, Brickman making a play is going to be there out in foul territory. So after 6 innings of play here at Cardinals Field, Gulls just took a 3-2 lead here on the NECBL Broadcasting Network powered by Stretch. Well, welcome everybody back, fans of baseball, to Cardinals Field. Alex Friesen alongside Stephen Hoffman, the sideline reporter tonight for the Gulls, Zach Letson. As we enter the top of the 7th inning of play, I'm handing it back off to the voice of the Newport Gulls, Stephen Huff.
Thank you, Alex. Still Jordan Marks still out on the mound for the Gulls in his 7th inning of work.
Unbelievable performance here by Marks. When you have 8 strikeouts to a red-hot Bay Sox lineup, that's unbelievable.
So he is tonight's starter for Newport, and he's still out on the mound. As we said, in the 7th, he'll be facing off against the 6, 7, 8 hitters of the Bay Sox, who have combined for 1 hit in 6 at-bats against Marks. As Zach Buck settles in, 0 for 2 against Marks on the day with a pair of strikeouts, one swinging in the 1st and then went down looking in the 4th. So righty on righty matchup for Marks on the mound. Out of the windup, working quickly. Marks delivers first pitch fastball that's chopped back into the screen. 0-1.
One goal, if I'm Zach Buck in that batter's box right now, Steven, it's to not strike out. He struck out twice tonight, 0 for 2. He just, we've seen it the last time lower in the lineup where.
Now this 0-1 fastball over the heart of the plate, 0-2.
And now, Buck's in an 0-2 count here on the verge of the third strikeout of the night for him.
Yeah, not the night you want to have if you're Buck at the plate. Now this 0-2 breaking ball misses up 1-2. I think another good, approach for the Bay Sox. We teased it at the other inning. Maybe work Marks a little bit at the plate. Pesky at bats, work that pitch count up, make the Gulls go to the bullpen. We see some arms, I think, live in the bullpen. This 1-2 pitch misses upstairs, 2-2. We don't have a clear side of the bullpen. I know there's some activity. They might just be throwing the football around. I do see the football, so I think it is the football. Actually, I think that's Mike Sansone warming up. As now this 2-2 pitch chopped over towards the third base line. It's fair. Malloy Fields throws to first in time. Terrific play from Malloy for the first out here in the 7th. So he didn't strike out. He did exactly what you wanted, but there's still one away here in the 7th.
Especially when you're trailing by 1 run, it's a 3-2 game. You have to put the ball in play. You have to put the defense of the Gulls here on edge. That's exactly what the Gulls offense did, and it worked out in their favor. The Gulls took the 3-2 lead. They put the defense in test.
So this one's going to be chopped over to Tours at first. He fields backpedaling towards right. Covering first is Marks, getting the flip in time. So 2 quick outs now for the Gulls here in the top of the 7th. Now the Bay Sox at the plate will be Brian Hart.
Swinging at the first pitch there and Tommy Seidel, and it could go both ways in this situation. Again, going back on your main points, you want to really work Marks into working his pitch count. But if you see a pitch, you're trailing by 1 run here in the 7th.
This first pitch to Hart misses up, ball 1.
You kind of just have to start building at bats up.
Yeah, and if you see a pitch you like, attack it.
Attack it, absolutely.
Now this 1-0 fastball over the heart of the plate, 1-1. Hart on the day, 0 for 2, grounded out into a double play his first time up and then struck out swinging to end the 4th. As now this pitch in there for strike 2. Count now 1-2 to Hart. Another righty on righty matchup. Marks working quickly on the mound. This 1-2 pitch misses low and away. Count now even at 2.
If you're Hart, you want to try to get some offense going off of Marks. And then if you're Marks, you just got to get it through this inning and through 7.
Marks delivers 2-2 pitch that misses low and away once again. So count now full. Hart thought about it, but was able to lay off.
The last hit in this game came from Alex Berkman all the way back in the 3rd.
Now this 3-2 misses low and away for the 3rd straight pitch. So that will put Hart aboard first via a walk. That's the first walk of the day that Marks has given up. And it came here in the 7th with 2 away. So you talk about 8 strikeouts and to just 1 walk, and it came here in the 7th. A pretty remarkable day for Marks. Does have, plenty of control. You don't want to say 1 walk. Maybe, he's losing that control, but maybe fatigue will settle in at some point. This first pitch is going to be grounded over to Tours. He fields cleanly and steps on the bag for out number 3. So no runs crossed for the Bay Sox in the top of the 7th off of no hits as they leave one stranded. Heading into the bottom of the 7th, Newport leads 3-2 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Hey. Bottom of the 7th here at Cardines as Newport leads New Bedford 3-2. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Fuse, and the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, Zach Letson. And there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Bay Sox. Alex, who is he?
Logan Malin takes the mound for the Bay Sox here as we are in the bottom of the 7th. Malin's last appearance came against the Valley Blue Sox. And in that game, pitching 2 innings, gave up a hit, 2 runs. 1 of those were earned, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts.
And so with Maitland coming into the game, that will officially end the day for Matthew Thomas. Came in for 1 inning of relief, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs. 2 of them were earned. Didn't walk anybody while striking out 1. First batter Maitland will face is Hudson Haskin, the center fielder from Tulane. Haskin on the day, 1 for 3, singled in his last plate appearance. Also did reach on an error in the first. Although he's 1 for 3, has reached base twice today. And he has 2 stolen bases on the day too. So.
You know, Maitland coming into a big situation, faces the 3, 4, 5 hitters of the Gulls offense.
On his first pitch to Haskin, fastball over the heart of the plate.
You know, one thing that I really do like about Maitland, Steven, is he has that old school leg kick wind up by a pitcher. You know, you never really see this anymore because everyone just shows the velocity, you know.
This 0-1 slider is going to be flown into left. Coming in was Raposa, but it drops in front for leadoff single from Haskin.
You know, that's a mistake by Raposa there. Just kind of lost the read that he had. It seemed like that it was going to carry and then kind of just dropped dead in the air and dropped right in Raposa. You know, that's definitely, if you're Maitland, not how you exactly wanted to start this inning. So now a runner on first. You know, the Gulls already have a 1-run lead on you in the 7th inning. You're looking to continue this hot streak for the Bay Sox. 2-game win streak here. Looking to continue it. 2 home games the next 2 days as well. So you're looking to get a win here.
He throws over to first, but Haskin back in time.
You know, one thing we haven't been able to bring up, but we definitely talked about before the game, is Newport and the Bay Sox are in the same division.
Now this first pitch to Bender, misses outside, ball 1.
And when you face teams in the division, you stick them 6 total times in a season. This is the 3rd game that Newport has faced the Bay Sox.
Haskin back in time once again on the throw over.
You know, in the first 2 games, one was an extra inning loss for the Bay Sox, and the second was more of a true loss, 6-0 last Monday. So if you're the Bay Sox, you're looking to try to get a win in a team or a divisional team.
Runner fakes a steal to second. Haskin to throw behind. Gets back in time at first. Yeah, you're right. The Bay Sox, they are slow start, but they obviously want to start picking up some of these wins, especially against some of these Southern Division teams, since they are in the Southern Division.
Especially on the road, too. You know, you want to win these road games.
Now this pitch to Bender misses up. Count now 2-1. I tell you what, though, you mentioned the leg kick from Maitland on the mound. Kind of reminds me, I don't know if you remember him, Bronson Arroyo.
The name sounds familiar. I would have to rewatch some videos.
Used to pitch for the Cincinnati Reds. I know you made a video for Rafe
yes.
Chamet.
Alfonso Soriano.
Showing his Alfonso Soriano-esque swing.
I
think you should look up Bronson Arroyo and showing his mechanics and how Maitland kind of has similarities with his windup. Now he's pitching out of the stretch, and this 2-1 pitch misses outside, 3-1. But out of the windup, at least, it was eerily similar. I wonder if he maybe idolized Tim Lincecum too, because has a lot of moving parts there as well that kind of mirror him. But Bronson Arroyo came to mind as now this 3-1 runner goes, but pitch misses up. So ball 4 to Bender, and the first 2 runners for the Gulls in the 7th are aboard.
You know, great job by Zach Buck, knowing what the count was, and he saw Haskins attempting to steal, and it was a 3-1 count anyway, so, you know, he still had to wait for the umpire to call that a ball before he threw it down to second base. But a great job by Buck knowing what the situation was, and that's what really Coach Teddy Reagan has been working on with the Space Sox team.
Now with runners on first and second, Justin Henry Malloy settles in. First pitch misses outside, 1-0.
You know, an interesting move right here for Brickman to be on the grass, be in front of first base here.
Yeah, the corners aren't in for the Bay Sox, but the first baseman Brickman is in on the grass at first. Middle infield playing double play depth for the Bay Sox. Now the slider catches the inside edge of Malloy. 1-1.
Great pitch right there by Maitland, just clipping that, you know, corner, getting that a strike, and to battle back here now, a 1-1 count.
So now Brickman still on the grass, the edge of the grass, now teetering on just the edge of the dirt at first. Bender just in his shadow as now we're going to see Buck run out to the mound at the rendezvous point of the rubber. It's Hart trotting in from second as well to meet up with each other. We're talking dinner plans after and the bus ride home.
You know, in Maitland's last appearance, they came against the Valley Blue Sox on Friday. Michael Goodrich was the catcher, and I'm trying to see the previous appearance by Maitland to see if he's ever worked with Zach Buck in a game.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting point because the chemistry is such a huge thing, and you know a lot plays into that. Signs, but also can you bury your breaking ball? Is the catcher going to know it's coming? Can you trust him to block it? A lot goes into pitcher-catcher chemistry. So now the Arroyo kick from Maitland results in a fastball that is blocked from Buck. So maybe that was the meeting on the mound, just to make sure that Buck is going to be able to, you know, catch anything that is buried in the dirt.
Yeah, so I'm looking through previous games, and it does look like as Maitland started the game.
Buck was his catcher?
No, it was Michael Goodrich that game. So Maitland started against the Valley Blue Sox.
And so that must have been the meeting on the mound. That certainly was what they're talking about. Hey, just so you know, if you want to bury something here and make Malloy maybe chase, I'm going to know it's coming now so I can block it.
You know, with the amount of bullpen arms and also just pitching arms in general that every NECBL team has, you have to give it to the catcher. Sure, there's, you know, two catchers, and I'm sure the good relationship between Zach Buck and Michael Goodrich, the two catchers on this Bay Sox team, I'm sure they talk about, okay, but you also have to learn every single arsenal of every single pitcher in that bullpen. And also, you can throw a slider completely different from a pitcher B who throws a slider.
Now the 2-1 to Malloy. Fastball just misses below the knee, so count now 3-1. Yeah, and you're completely right. I mean, catchers have to know a lot. Everyone's, you know, arsenal is different than the next guy up. So when you're rotating through so many guys, you may not see the same guys every time. Building that chemistry is, you know, one of the tougher tasks to do in summer balls. This 3-1 pitch.
You know, a crucial situation right here for the Bay Sox. They're looking to just keep this game 3-2.
And it's a 3-2 count to Malloy. The runners on first and second. No outs here in the bottom of the seventh. Righty on righty matchup. Runners go, and it's going to be lined into left. Rounding third is Haskins. Raposa with it in left. Throws over to third. It's going to get away from the third baseman Winkler. And off his plate is Buck to back up the throw, but not moving up the play. On the play is Bender. So runners on first and second for the Gulls on the RBI single from Malloy as Newport extends their lead from 3-2 to 4-2 as Brett Vosick settles in.
You know, and right there, that's a crucial assurance run. And now here's pitching coach Rudy Bogart making the call to the bullpen, filling in for Chris Cabe.
So there will be a call to the bullpen. We'll have more information on the new pitcher for the New Bedford Bay Sox coming up after this break here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. 4-2 here at Cardines Field. Newport leads New Bedford. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Fuse. And there's a new pitcher on the mound for New Bedford.
Kyle Johnson comes onto the mound now for the Bay Sox in a tough situation, but in Johnson's last appearance, it came against Newport as well. So sticking with their game plan from their previous matchup, Johnson pitching 2 innings, gave up 1 hit, 1 run. That run was earned. Walked 1 and struck out 0, and has a 4.50 ERA. But, you know, Johnson really coming into a very crucial situation, you know, already down 4-2 here, looking to get out of this inning.
Yeah, and runners on first and second. Obviously, you know, relievers coming into, you know, dirty innings a lot of the time. So not exactly, you know, the cleanest of situations. Of course, with Kyle Johnson coming into the game, it doesn't officially close the book on Logan Maitland. He's still responsible for Malloy and Bender on first and second. He was not able to record an out in his outing here tonight. So he gave up 2 hits and 1 walk. As Vosick settles in for the Gulls.
But the relationship between Johnson and Buck,
Vosick shows bunt, can't make contact, so
is
0-1.
Is going to be completely different from Maitland and Buck's relationship, because both Johnson and Buck are from the College of Holy Cross.
So maybe that's, you know, part of this change too, and why Kyle Johnson was warming up and brought into this game, because they have that chemistry that we were talking about. Now this 0-1, nice curveball dropping into the zone catching Vosick looking for strike 2.
You know, one comparison that I've really seen a lot from Kyle Johnson is David Robertson. I've seen a lot of his similar mechanics on the mound.
Oh, so 2 fastball misses low, but nice block from Buck, so 1 and 2. Yeah, I could see that. And a live arm coming out of the bullpen as well.
Yeah, it's just his ability to pinpoint those pitches, just spot on.
It's a righty on lefty matchup for Johnson on the mound. Looking over at second, now delivers the 1-2 breaking ball to Vosick. That just misses low, so
Oof.
2 and 2.
Close pitch right there.
About as close as you can get without it being a strike. Johnson looking on, out of the stretch. Working from first base side of the rubber. Looking over at Bender at second now. Delivers a 2-2 breaking ball. It's going to be lined towards the third base side, but slicing foul. So we'll go again. The count even at 2. Again, your score here in the bottom of the 7th. Gulls lead the Bay Sox 4-2 with no outs. Runners on first and second. Brett Vosick at the plate for the Gulls. Kyle Johnson of the Bay Sox looking on. There's a 2-2 fastball at the bottom edge of the zone, just missing low beneath the knees for ball 3. So count now full to the University of Kansas product.
One of my favorite stories about Johnson is he did face Kyler Murray in an at-bat, and he got Kyler Murray to fly out.
Yeah, not everyone can say that. So now this 3-2 pitch misses low, so ball 4 actually gets away from Buck, but not a lot of room behind the plate. And so all the runners move up as expected on a walk. The bases are loaded for the Gulls for the 3rd time today. As that will bring up Ryan Tours with a chance to extend the Gulls' lead. First walk of the day for Johnson on the mound. 3rd walk for the New Bedford Bay Sox staff. But more importantly, 2nd walk this inning, and that's kind of, what's really done the damage. Walks compounded with, timely singles for the Gulls. Well, his first pitch to Tours. Nice breaking ball that cuts into the zone, 0-1.
And Johnson is a pitcher who seems to thrive in pressure situations, and this is a situation that is as pressure as you can get if you're the Bay Sox looking to get out of this inning with just a 2-run lead.
That was a 1 pitch going to be grounded past Hart at second into right field. 1 run will score for the Gulls. They're going to hold everyone else up. And so an RBI single for Tours will leave the bases loaded once again for the Gulls, but they do extend their lead now to 3 runs as they lead the Bay Sox 5-2.
If you're the Bay Sox and especially Johnson on the mound, coming into this game, Johnson was already in a completely tough situation, and now you're starting to give more life, and this is all with no outs in the inning. So there's still no outs, bases loaded.
That was first pitch to Ceruto, another breaking ball he watches drop into the zone, 0-1.
Infield, the corners seem to come in for the Bay Sox now, and the Bay Sox are still in this game as at this moment.
Yeah, it's not over yet for New Bedford. Certainly. It's now this 0-1 breaking ball going to be flown into left. It's going to drop in front of Raposa. Malloy hustling home. The throw is cut off, so back-to-back singles for the Gulls bring in back-to-back runs. Now the score is 6-2. The bases are loaded once again.
Bay Sox pitching this inning just can't find a rhythm to get into and just an out to build off of. Bases are still loaded, in the 7th inning here. And, 3 runs already scored, no outs so far this inning. Bay Sox is still, 6-2 game. So definitely if you're the Gulls here, you're looking to just kind of really put a nail in the coffin here, especially with no outs.
Yeah, this is your chance if you're Newport just to really put the pressure on New Bedford, tack on some runs, maybe bring in one of your more dominant relievers and put this game to bed. If you're New Bedford, you're looking maybe for, a punch out here or double play, anything to, get the wheels turning in the right direction and limit the damage at this point.
Just finding out somewhere, just build off one out.
Well, the first pitch to Austin James, first pitch swinging, going to be grounded over to Hart at second. He flips it over to first in time for the first out of the inning, but that will score Brett Vosick from third. So now the Gulls up 5 here in the 7th by a score of 7-2.
And great job by Brian Hart knowing that, sure, that run does matter that just scored, but when the Gulls have a 4-run lead here in the 7th, you got to get that sure out as the infield now comes in for the Bay Sox. Now that
if you try to force a play at home, you're risking not getting an out at all and still that run scoring. So this first pitch to Cavalieri misses up 1-0. So I agree. I think that play at first is the right play to make, even though you're still giving up a run. You're at least getting that first out that you need. And so now you can set yourself up for better things moving forward. Now this 1-0 misses in the dirt, gets away from Buck behind the plate, but none of the runners move up for the Gulls. Still runners on second and third for Newport. One away here in the bottom of the 7th as they lead the Bay Sox 7-2.
Fans still sticking it out. I mean, it's still an interesting game, I will say.
I mean, anything can happen in the NECBL. Just as the Gulls exploded for runs, New Bedford's still not out of this game. Now this breaking ball catches the outside edge. Cavalieri looking all the way. So count now 2-1.
If you're Johnson, you get it out, you fall behind 2-0, and you get that called strike. And now you're like, whew, deep breath on the mound. Just get back to what you've known.
2-1 fastball chopped over the head of a jumping Winkler into left field. So that will score 2 from third easily. As moving up on the plate of third is Cerruto. So runners on the corners. Off the RBI single from Greg Cavalieri, and now Gulls tacking on another run. It's the 6th of the inning. They now lead 8-2.
Yeah, and just right there, I mean, that kind of, as now Rudy Bogart, the pitching coach, and we're going to make another call to the bullpen here.
So another call to the bench for New Bedford. It's their second this inning. They trail 8-2. We'll have more information on the new Bay Sox pitcher coming up here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 7th here in Newport, and the Newport Gulls lead the New Bedford Bay Sox by a score of 8-2. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Fuse. Tough inning so far if you're on the New Bedford Bay Sox side. There's runners on the corners for the Gulls, and Bay Sox are looking at their second pitching change of the inning. And Alex, who is the new pitcher on the mound for the Bay Sox?
Jake Rockefeller is the pitcher coming into another tough situation. There is now 1 out in the inning, and Rockefeller last pitched in really a mop-up role, and it came against the Ocean State Waves on Friday when Rockefeller came into this game in a mop-up role and pitching 2 innings and a third, or 2 1/3 innings, excuse me. Gave up 1 hit, 1 run. That run was earned. Gave up 3 walks and a strikeout. So definitely was victim of some command issues in that game against Ocean State. So it's going to be interesting to see Rockefeller in this game.
First batter he'll face off against is Jake Gustin. First pitch to Gustin. Fastball on the outer half for strike 1. Lefty on lefty matchup on the mound for Rockefeller. He looks over at Cavalieri at first. Now delivers the 0-1. It's in there for strike 2. Again, runners on the corners for the Gulls. 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th as Newport leads New Bedford 8-2. There's time called at the plate. Pitch comes in. Looked like a fastball that would have caught the inside edge.
Yeah, but great job by Rockefeller. Just knew, all right, well, I'm committed to this pitch. Sure.
I mean, if you
He
stop
gets an extra warm-up pitch there.
the extra warm-up pitch. Now the 1-2 from Rockefeller, still looking over at Cavalieri at first. Now delivers 1-2 pitch that swung on and missed from Gustin for strike 3. So there's the second out of the inning. Much needed out for the Bay Sox. First strikeout of the day for Rockefeller on the mound. Third of the day for the Bay Sox staff. So that will bring up Hudson Haskin as the Gulls have officially batted around the lineup today. He led things off for the Gulls in this long 7th inning. Singled in this inning. This first pitch got the inside edge. 0-1. Rockefeller looking on lefty on righty matchup. Another time called at the plate.
You know, and Rockefeller does look like he does have some form of a sidearm throw.
Different arm slot that the Gulls hitters had to pick up. Runner takes off for second. The throw down was in time, but the tag a little bit slower to get there, and they got the back of Cavalieri, so that's another stolen base for Cavalieri. So runners on second and third now for the Gulls with 2 away.
You know, and you wonder if the Gulls coaching staff called that a stolen. I mean, because in an 8-2 game, you kind of have to start. Okay, you're not gonna, you know.
This pitch grounded foul on the third baseline.
You know, I'm a firm believer in to not let off the gas pedal in a game situation, but you know we are here in the 7th inning with stolen bases when you have a
8-2 lead.
Yeah, I mean,
I hear you.
But again, I'm not one. It's just an interesting move.
Yeah, certainly. Especially, you know, I mean, there is a point where you might think maybe that's too far, but it won't matter as this pitch is going to catch. Haskin looking for strike 3 to end the inning as the Gulls put up 6th in the 7th to take an 8-2 lead. Heading into the 8th, the Gulls do lead by that score of 8-2 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It's bottom of the 8th here at Cardines Field. Stephen Huff alongside Alex Fuse, the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, and Zach Letson, the field reporter of the Newport Gulls. Since it's the top of the 8th, excuse me, I think I said bottom. Zach, let's send it over to you to catch us up on those games around the NECBL that you previewed at the top of the broadcast.
Well, Stephen, as we look around the league, the Mystic Schooners, as we talked about, they're putting the finishing touches on a 12-4 victory over the Ocean State Waves. Vermont, well, they're up 12-0 on the Sanford Mainers. In the Battle of the Valleys, as we talked about earlier, it's Upper Valley with a 6-1 lead over the Valley Blue Sox. And the Queen Swamp Bats up 10-2 on the North Adams Steeplecats in the Northern Division.
So a couple of games that got out of hand.
Yeah, a lot of blowouts tonight. This one starting to turn into a little bit of one on its own, but as we look around the league, not a lot of close games as we look out throughout the day.
Well, there is a new pitcher on the mound for Newport. It is Mike Sansone, and he's really been the best reliever, or one of the best. There's been a lot of really great relievers for the Gulls. He won NECBL Pitcher of the Week honors last week across the league. He's had 3 appearances. Tonight is his 4th. Does not have any runs given up. It's this first pitch. 2 Winklers fouled back into the screen. So he has a 0 ERA so far, 1-0 record for the Gulls. They're 7 1/3 innings pitched. He's only given up 1 hit, 13 strikeouts to 0 walks. So he's only allowed 1 base runner by virtue of a hit, as this one's going to be flown into right. Foul along on top of the warehouse. He has given up a base runner by virtue of an error, and he has hit a batter. So other than that hit he's given up, that came against Valley this weekend, those are the only other 2 base runners that have been on base against Sansone. So now there's a 2 pitch to Winkler, fouled back into the mask of Ceruto. He looks to be okay. Count remains 0-2.
You know, Steven, if you are New Bedford right now, I think your mindset has to be 0-0 game. Down by 6 runs. You're just trying to chip away here. You still have 6 outs, you know, to really put some pressure on the Gulls here. And, you know, it kind of goes to show we saw a stolen base, with an 8-2 lead. So again, the goals aren't letting up. They bring in one of the best relievers in that bullpen. So again, this game's not over yet.
Now this pitch to Winkler, popped back into the screen.
This is, a game that the Gulls are just gonna, okay, we're done. We're not waving up the white flag, and neither are the Bay Sox here.
Yeah, I mean, we still got a ball game here. Anything can happen in the NECBL. A lot of live bats here for the Bay Sox. We talked about how threatening this whole order is for them. No easy outs. This 0-2 pitch breaking ball misses up and away. 1-2. So certainly a threatening lineup that could charge a comeback for the Bay Sox. This 1-2 popped back into the screen once again.
I'm like 1 for 4 now. I only flinched once, and all these foul balls right at us.
We're getting there. We're getting better.
Just gotta settle in,
Yep.
Get comfortable.
It's like a starting pitcher, You gotta pace yourself,
Yeah.
settle into a groove a
Sometimes
little
you get
bit.
a rocky start in the first or whatever, but by the 8th, you're just cruising along.
Sansone looking on out of the stretch, delivers 1-2 breaking ball that squirts away from Ceruto at the dish. So 2-2. Of course, with Sansone coming into the game, that will close the book on Jordan Marks, tonight's starter for Newport. 7 innings pitched, gave up 7 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. Walked 1 to 8 strikeouts. Now this 2-2 pitch fastball misses up, count now full. Great hitters tonight for Newport, but Marks has to be a candidate for Newport's player of the game. His excellent performance on the mound.
6 strikeouts in a row.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with that. As now this 3-2 lined into left, and a sliding play from Cavalieri. As he gets a round of applause from the crowd, deservingly so, and there's one away here in the top of the 8th.
What a play by Cavalieri over there and left field. Wow.
And we talked about his speed, and he showed it off there, and then taking a great angle to the ball and able to glove that one for the first out here in the 8th.
And Winkler 1 for 4 on the night now after that fly out, but he's been victim of some great plays. Hit a sharp ground ball over to the third baseman. Malloy had him to really make a one-handed throw with that over to first to get him, and now a diving play by Cavalieri.
His first pitch to Blandini, fastball misses outside, 1-0.
So definitely, if you're Winkler, of course, you're coming into this game hot, 5 for 12 after his first hit of the day, but
1-0 pitch popped behind the plate, 1-1.
Definitely knowing
he hit better than what the stats will show.
And again, if you put, a ball in play, that's all that you can ask for, especially when you're down by 6 runs here.
Especially hard hit balls, too. Now this 1-1. Chopped over to Tours at first. He lets it roll foul before he can get to it. So count now 1-2 to Blandini at the plate. Blandini 1 for 3 on the day. Singled his first plate appearance in the first. Flew out to center in the third and flew out to Cavalieri in left in his last plate appearance. It's a lefty-on-lefty matchup for Sansone on the mound. Working out of the stretch. High leg kick now delivers 1-2 pitch that breaks out of the zone. 2-2.
Sansone facing the top of the lineup for the Bay Sox.
2-2 to Blandini. Popped out of play once again. Battling. Count remains.
You retired a fire-hot Winkler, and now you're trying to get another bat out here in Blandini, who's a tough out as well. And then you're facing a red-hot as well, Jake Studdleson. So 1, 2, 3 at the top of the lineup. If you can carve this out, the score looks very good.
2-2 fastball misses up. Count now full.
If you get 1, 2, 3 right here, Steven and Zach, looks very good in the Gulls' favor. I mean, it does now, but
this 3-2 once again popped back into the screen, so count remains. Yeah, and that's kind of what happened in Valley too for the Gulls. Starter Dan Gursky had a really good game. Bats got the lead, and then they bring in some of their really talented relievers that are in this staff. Is this going to be flown into center? Coming in is Haskin. He's there for out number 2. And then you bring in, they got a lot of live arms in that bullpen that they can turn to. And they kind of shut down, that Valley lineup and sealed up that victory for them. And it's kind of a similar Almost exact same scenario here tonight. So a 2 away here in the 8th. That will bring up Jake Suttleson. It's 1 for 2 tonight. Sacrifice fly in the first. Doubled and scored a run in the 3rd. So here he's going to chop one over to Malloy at 3rd, and he can't field it cleanly. So aboard first is Suttleson getting his 2nd hit of the night. Tough play for Malloy over at 3rd.
Yeah, sharp ground ball right at him. He did bobble it, but Suttleson does have some speed, so if Malloy did field it cleanly, it would have been still a very close play at first, so they're going to give it a hit on Suttleson.
Suttleson gets his 2nd hit of the night. 2 outs and a runner on first. That will bring up Alex Brickman, who's 2 for 2 with a catcher's interference to go along with his stat line. So he takes a big hack at a breaking ball way caught out in front.
Brickman right there was looking for a 6-run home run.
Quick way to tie that one up. Lefty on righty matchup for Sansone on the mound. Delivers 0-1 fastball. Brickman watches, catch the inside edge. 0-2.
Brickman shaking his head, disagreeing with home plate umpire on that call.
Brickman not afraid to show his emotion at the plate. Squatting down into his stance now. It's this 0-2 fastball. Off the hands over towards the coaches. It didn't even react for the goals. Count remains 0-2.
Look out.
You say look out, they didn't even react. I don't know how. We react with protection, and that nearly hit.
I mean, they do have some protection, but I mean, our protection that we flinch at, or I flinch at, I should say.
This breaking ball is going to be grounded over to Malloy. He fields it cleanly this time, throws to first in time for out number 3. So no runs crossed for the Bay Sox in the 8th off of 1 hit as they leave one stranded. Heading into the bottom of the 8th, the Gulls lead the Bay Sox 8-2 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It's the bottom of the 8th here at Cardines. The Gulls lead the Bay Sox 8-2, as it'll be 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for the Gulls, facing off against Jake Rockefeller once again. Stephen Huff alongside Alex, who's the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, and Zach Letson, the field reporter of the Newport Gulls. In between that inning, keeping everyone up on the Sakuchi Honda sweepstakes, as everyone has a chance here tonight to come away with a free Honda SUV. We saw some of the Gulls players. They're not eligible to come away with an SUV, but they at least wanted to give their shot to see if they could throw it through that 6-inch hole.
Why not?
This first pitch to Bender, misses, and it skips away off the home plate umpire. He doesn't even react, so no one's reacting to any.
They're making me look so foolish.
I know.
You know, these are the people that actually can get hit by these foul balls, and
they don't care.
They don't. I mean, you got to give it to them. But I do like how there's a space in between the fence and the barricade here, so it gives the youngsters to really get a shot at a foul ball.
Now the 1-0 to Bender. Misses outside, 2-0.
I guess the barricade is the word, right? Or backstop, maybe? I don't know. But
they're both synonymous. They
yeah,
work.
Yeah, why not?
Rockefeller, lefty on the mound, working against the righty at the plate, and Bender delivers 2-0 pitch. Bender swinging and fouls it back into the screen. So 2-1. Bender on the night, 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored. Has a single and a walk to his name, along with a pair of groundouts.
Rockefeller came into this game in a tough position.
Got out of the jam with 2 straight strikeouts.
You know, that's exactly what you're looking for.
Now this pitch misses up, so count now full to Bender. Presumably have the green light on the upcoming pitch.
Yeah, I mean, Rockefeller was able to stop the bleeding of the bullpen here. And the costly errors in the previous inning to make it a 8-2.
This is 3-1. Bender does have the green light. He's going to line this one down the line and left. Bender rounding first, heading for second. The throw to second is cut off, so Bender sliding in head first. He'll be aboard with the leadoff double here in the bottom of the 8th. The Gulls not taking anything for granted here. 6-run lead in the 8th, still attacking.
And I mean, this is the mentality of a team that suffered a tough loss last night, and they are making sure that the Bay Sox, no matter what, can come back and win this game. You know, hitting, with a 3-1 count right there, hitting the double.
Now his first pitch to Malloy catches the outside edge. 0-1.
The Gulls are not letting up.
Yeah, and I think that's, the mentality that, I think you're right, is the product of that tough loss yesterday. And so now they're hungry out here today, just trying to do anything they can to get that win and making sure they get that win. Now it's 0-1. Malloy chops down the third base line over towards Winter Road. He fields off 2 hops, shakes his head over at Winkler. Count now 0-2.
Malloy's like, okay, I'll try to give, it's a third base test right there if it stayed fair. Malloy testing Winkler over there at third base. Malloy making so many great plays at third base tonight.
We'll have another chance at the plate here. On an 0-2. Fastball misses outside. 1-2. Tonight at the plate, Malloy 1 for 3. Pair of singles and an RBI. Was also hit by a pitch. In the 7th, last time up, was that RBI single where he later came around to score. Now this 1-2. Fouled back into the screen. Will go again, and Greg Zackerson making a nice catch off the screen. Pitching coach for the Gulls had to show up. Head coach Kevin Winterroad, who made the play down the third baseline.
The coaching battle. I love it.
Rockefeller looking on out of the stretch. Looks to Bender at second. Now delivers the 1-2 that misses outside. So count now even at 2.
A lot of fans still sticking it out here at Cardines Field. It's a beautiful night.
The official attendance tonight was 2,291 for Sakuchi Honda Star Wars night. This 2-2 is going to be flown into right center field. Rounding third is Bender coming in to score. Malloy booking it into second, where he will be sliding in safely with a RBI double to extend the Gulls' lead now to 7.
Back-to-back doubles by the Gulls offense here, and once again, Steven and Zach. Gulls offense not letting up. They're not hitting the brakes here on this offensive night, really until the 7th inning. So a late offensive burst from the Gulls here later on in this game, and now it's a 9-2 ball game.
So with that 9-2 ball game, that will bring up Brett Vosick at the plate. Lefty on lefty matchup for Rockefeller at the on the mound. Malloy on second. First pitch cuts into the zone. 0-1.
I think when we break down this game, 2 things that should be pointed out again: the absence of Chris Cabe tonight as the manager, and really splitting the duties between hitting coach.
Now this 0-1 skips at the plate and gets away from Buck, but rattles in between the legs of Vosick and stays near the plate, so Malloy staying at second. 1-1.
It almost seems like there's 2 managers here tonight. The hitting coach, Teddy Reagan, really taking charge and making any decisions hitting-wise.
Now this 1-1 comes in and hits Vosick on the hip. He'll be aboard first to that hit by pitch, third hit by pitch of the day for the Bay Sox staff. And with no outs, there's runners on first and second for the Gulls.
Yeah, and then any pitching change has been from pitching coach Rudy Bogart. So definitely a split, manager here to roles tonight. But what better person that knows the hitters than Teddy and truly knows the pitchers. But I think the one main spot where this game kind of,
it's his first pitch to Tours in the zone for strike 1.
What we've seen, or especially that I've seen recently, that managers in the NACBL kind of have a game plan. We're going to use these pitchers. We use them against, in these games.
So 1 to Tours, chopped at the plate, but off the plate, and they're going to rule it foul. Might have come off Tours, so 1-1.
It almost seems like, on every starter, this is the bullpen that we have to use. So It depends on the situation, and this is a league where the players can work on their abilities too. You know, they're in tough situations, but also I think the main question would be bringing in Logan Maitland in that position.
Now so 2-2 is going to be grounded over to second, thrown to second for 1, over to first in time for out number 2. So a 4-6-3 adds a little bit of relief for the Bay Sox here in the 8th, but it does move Malloy over to third on the play. So runner 90 feet from scoring for the Gulls, and Peter Ceruto settles in at the dish. Gulls lead the Bay Sox 9-2 here in the bottom of the 8th with 2 away. First pitch to Ceruto, misses inside, ball 1.
You know, bringing Logan Maitland in to this game with runners on, it was, I believe the base was loaded.
1-0 pitch, misses low, 2-0.
With no outs in the 4th. You know, that's a very tough situation where Maitland struggled against Newport last Monday.
Now there's 2-0 to Ceruto, misses inside once again, so 3-0.
But obviously, Steven, you know, let's say, and this is going to be extreme comparison, you know, pitching coach Rudy Beauregard brings in Maitland and Maitland gets a triple play, you know, then no one's going to be questioning the decision.
Yeah, you know, I mean, hindsight, you know, it's 2020. And I think I get your point there. This pitch misses inside to Ceruto, puts runners on the corners with 2 away for Austin James.
For the Bay Sox, you're trying to just get, you know, one more out here to get out of this inning and to not roll over this lineup back to the top.
So his first pitch to James misses inside, 1-0. Suddenly, on the mound, Rockefeller, you know, struggling to find the zone. But you're right, all he needs is, you know, a couple good pitches strung together, or just one that James maybe can roll over the top of or pop up to get out of this inning. Now it's 1-0. Catches the top edge of the zone. 1-1.
Exactly. You know, now Rockefeller finding himself back into a really tie between the hitter and the pitcher, 1-1 here. Rockefeller just trying to get out of this inning.
This 1-1. Blasted in the left, but hooking foul and into the streets of Newport. Count now 1-2 to the shortstop for the Gulls.
If you're Rockefeller right there, I think your heart just sunk.
And he got the barrel on it, it seemed, but it was all over it and a little bit too early.
You know, definitely after the crack of the bat, it definitely sounded like a home run, but it was way foul.
And James, I mean, if he's able to pull it, has a lot of power to him. Rockefeller now ahead in the count on the 1-2. Just misses up 2-2, but that was pretty close to where that first strike was called.
Yeah, again, just Rockefeller just trying to work out of this inning with only giving up the 1 run, and really that's all you can ask for at this point of the game.
Now this 2-2 lunged at from James and chopped foul. Count remains.
Now James here really working this at bat, making Rockefeller work in this inning, working his pitch count up, and this is kind of the approach that, you know, for the Bay Sox you could have tried a little better on marks.
It's now the 2-2 from Rockefeller. James thought about it, but he laid off on a pitch that misses low and away. So count now full to James. Dangerous spot for Rockefeller. I mean, a walk would, obviously you don't want to give up a hit, but a walk would, you know, be tough for the confidence as well. Now the 3-2 to James. Does miss low for ball 4. So 2 straight walks will load the bases for the Gulls. That will bring up Greg Cavalieri, leadoff man for the Gulls in the lineup. Now again, I mean, he only needs 1 out. String together a couple pitches or just one good pitch that, you know, the Cavalieri at the plate doesn't get a hold of. So it's not over for Rockefeller. But if you're at the Gulls at the plate, this is just another opportunity to, you know, keep the gas on. His first pitch misses low once again, so 1-0.
You know, and sure the score is not in the Bay Sox favor here, but, you know, this is a great moment for Rockefeller to really learn about himself.
Yeah, it's a mental, you know, learning chance. Fair for the Gulls, you know, ran into this opportunity against the Schooners. Now this 1-0 misses up 2-0. And it's not easy, but, you know, that's part of this in college and especially summer leagues, it's a development part, and it's a great opportunity to learn, and it's a mental aspect, and so there are silver linings to this. This 2-0 popped up behind home plate, now to play 2-1.
And it does seem as, now in the, this is the 7th at-bat this inning for Rockefeller, that he's starting to really get tired on that mound.
2-1 misses up, so count now 3-1 to Cavalieri.
And you have to think that Cavalieri will most likely be the last at-bat, as there are some pitchers warming up in the Bay Sox bullpen.
He's going to be swinging on the 3-1, flying it into right. Saito coming in towards the warehouse, overruns it, and it's going to land, so 1 run will score, 2 runs will score for the Gulls, as Cavalier moves up to second on the play. And moving up to third is Austin James. I couldn't get a clear shot of it. We don't have great view over there in right. I couldn't tell if it is a hit or an error. I couldn't tell exactly what happened. 2 runs will score for the Gulls, so now the lead is 11-2. There's runners on second and third with 2 away.
We're going to give him a double, I guess.
We're going to give him a double.
I mean, but that was...
Now, and that's a tricky part with this right field. For right fielders, it's already odd dimensions, but also you got the brick wall that you're afraid to run into. So how to play that is tough, as Gustin fouls this first pitch into the screen 0-1. And so you saw him running full speed, then had to slow down, and then he was looking at the brick wall, and then realized he overran the ball because he was focusing on the brick wall. And so there's a lot to pay attention to if you're visiting, if you're any right fielder, but particularly a visiting right fielder. This 0-1 comes inside on Gustin, backs him off the plate, 1-1.
And again, really, this is a huge test for Rockefeller here. Already giving up 3 runs this inning.
Now Gustin watches this 1-1 pitch miss inside once again, 2-1.
Pitching coach Rudy Beauregard really letting Rockefeller try to find his way out of it. Has not worked out yet.
Now the 2-1 misses low and away, 3-1.
And if,
now even the throw back gets off his glove, and Hart is there from second base to back him up. But it goes back to what we're saying. It is a mental challenge, but a chance for him to get over that little bit of a hurdle.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge hurdle, and especially coming into a tough situation, did get the 2 strikeouts.
I mean, he has good stuff. Is this 3-1 pitch over the heart of the plate. Count now full. And I think, a lot of pitchers face these, challenges. It's not just Rockefeller on the mound. A lot of guys are going to go through this in their career. So we're not just picking on Rockefeller particularly, and we're not picking on him at all. It's just, these are challenges that ball players will face. It's this 3-2 pitch, pops straight up, and Buck is able to make the play, and foul territory for out number 3 here in the 8th. But heading into the 9th, the Gulls lead the Bay Sox 11-2. Right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It's the top of the 9th here at Cardines. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Fuse, and the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, Zach Letson. And the Gulls lead the Bay Sox 11-2 here in the top of the 9th. As there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Gulls. It's Zachary Ottinger of West Virginia. He is making his 3rd appearance for the Gulls. Right now he has a 9.0 ERA. Through 4 innings pitched, he's given up 8 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. Has walked 1 batter while striking out 4. First batter Ottinger will face is Andrew Raposa. His first pitch to Raposa, swung on and missed for strike 3. Ottinger looking on righty matchup. 0-1. This is low and away, fastball. 1-1.
Similar spot right here for Ottinger, coming in a similar situation as Rockefeller.
Now the 1-1 fastball low and away, swung on and missed from Raposa. 1-2.
In an 11-2 game, this really allows Ottinger to really work and just to get to find himself as a pitcher.
Now this 1-2, nice breaking ball that misses just inside. 2-2.
No true pressure with an 11-2 lead here.
Yeah, again, that has small sample size for the Gulls. A chance to get out here, get an inning in, feel some stuff out. As this one's going to be lined over a leaping Gustin and fall into right field. So a leadoff single for Raposa and the Bay Sox.
Obviously, if you're the Bay Sox, I mean, as the great Yogi Berra always says, it's not over till it's over. Obviously, we've seen that here tonight by the Gulls. They've never let up here. With a 6-2 lead, they were still stealing the bases. So it definitely, lead-off base hit. You're putting the ball into play, and you're making solid contact.
So this first pitch is going to be underneath Ceruto. He was searching for it for quite a bit. Raposa did not move up on the play, so Raposa still on first.
Again, maybe if it was, a closer game, you would have seen more of a challenge by Raposa over there at first to make, a force Serrano behind the plate to make a play on that. But again, you're just looking for base runners. That's all you have to look for when you're trailing 11-2.
Ottinger righty on righty matchup delivers pitch in the zone for strike one. Throw down to second as the Raposa took second. Not in time, so stolen base from Raposa. Runner now in scoring position for the Bay Sox. He didn't go on the pass ball or wild pitch. He did go on the next pitch though. Now the 1-1 to Buck. Fastball low in the zone, swung at it and missed. Strike two.
Steven, this kind of doesn't really have too much to do with this situation, but it should be noted, with the Bay Sox working with only 2 catches right now.
Now this pitch misses low and away. 2-2.
Obviously, injuries are the worst thing about sports and in life, but let's say, something did happen to Buck, and Buck had to come out of the game, and Goodrich went in, and Goodrich had to lead the game. Angel Raposa is the emergency catcher.
So this 2-2 pitch catches Buck looking for strike 3. First strikeout of the day for Ottinger on the mound. First strikeout since Jordan Marks has been in the game.
He played catcher his whole high school career.
Oh, wow.
As well as the outfield.
So he could do it all a little bit.
Yeah.
Strikeout will bring up Tommy Seidel, right fielder from Harvard. Waggling the bat quite a lot as he settles in at the plate. First pitch fastball misses low and away. 1-0. Not quite Gary Sheffield-esque, but still wagging the bat. He settles in. Another 1-0, big swing and a miss. Had a fastball. 1-1.
Another hearty swing and a miss by another Bay Sox bat tonight.
Another 1-1. Breaking ball. Caught Seidel looking. 1-2. Ottinger looking on out of the stretch. Runner on second with 1 away for the Bay Sox here in the top of the 9th. Another breaking ball going to be flown into center. Going back is Haskin looking up. And that ball is out of here. 2-run home run for the Bay Sox. They're going to small in the lead a little bit. Minimize it a little bit here in the 9th. Making it 11-4.
And in this situation, again, just trying to continue this hot streak going, and even if, the father of Tommy Seidel right in front of us here at the booth, so it's always a great moment to
see
able
your
to
son
see
hit
your
a home
son.
run.
Exactly.
Well, that's exactly what the Bay Sox need. A little bit of life as hard swing.
And Steve, I did not flinch.
Well, I don't know how you did it on that one. That was the hardest foul ball we've seen tonight. Line drive right back into the screen.
I'm so proud of myself.
0-1 to Hart. Breaking ball misses up. 1-1.
I mean, there is one away in this inning, but still 11-4 makes the box score look a little bit better than 11-2.
Well, this fastball swung on and missed from Hart. Pitch low in the zone. 1-2. Hart on the day 0 for 2. Did work a walk his last time up. Now the 1-2 pitch, another swing and a miss for strike 3. So 2 away here in the ninth. That's the second strikeout of the day for Ottinger on the mound, 10th of the day for the Gulls. So now the Bay Sox are down to their final out, trailing 11-4 here in the ninth as Elijah Brown settles in. First pitch fastball catches the outside edge. 0-1. Brown on the day 1 for 3, singled in his first plate appearance, then struck out looking and grounded out to first base. So 1 pitch gets by Ceruto as it skips over his glove and into the backstop. 1-1.
And there was an actual reaction from home plate umpire Swayze.
Now it's 1-1 to Brown. Flown towards the third base line, but out of play, so 1-2. Bay Sox down to their final strike here at Cardines. Stick around with us after the game. Post-game show coming up with all 3 of us in the booth. This one's going to be grounded over to Gustin at second. Throw to first in time for out number 3. So the Gulls win over the Bay Sox by a score of 11-4. Gulls improve to 7-5 on the season, while the Bay Sox fall to 3-9. But like I said, don't go anywhere. Post-game show coming up in just a second here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Well, it was Newport taking the victory home in this one here at Cardines. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Fuse. And we're joined in the booth with Zach Letzen, the field reporter of the Newport Gulls. Thank you both for joining me here today. The Gulls beat the Bay Sox by a score of 11-4 and advance to 7-5 on the season, while the Bay Sox fall to 3-9. And immediately, Jordan Marks dealing on the mound, 7 innings pitched, gave up 7 hits, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts with 1 walk, and then the Gulls, relief pitchers came in, shut down the rest of the Bay Sox. It was a good game for a while. It was really just, the 6th and particularly the 7th inning where things got out of hand for the Bay Sox.
Yeah, I think when you look back at this game, there's a couple different areas that you can be like, oh, right there, that's when the Bay Sox lost it. But one of the key points that really was an asterisk in my book was it started with a strikeout swinging by Andrew Raposa to end the 3rd. Left a guy on second, and that run would have created a 3-1 Bay Sox lead if that run scored. And then Raposa started the 6th strikeout, really rally from Marks on the mound, dealing, 6 strikeouts in a row, another strikeout heavy box score on the Bay Sox side that's been killer so far this season. And then also the tough situation of Logan Maitland coming into this game in one of the toughest situations, bases loaded, no outs, in the 4th, and that's kind of, only got out of that inning with just 1 run. But then as, the inning moved along, or the game moved along, you look at, 5 runs in the 7th, 3 runs in the 8th, and then Tommy Seidel, a 2-run home run kind of almost goes unnoticed in a box score that really isn't as pretty as the first few innings of the Bay Sox game as it should be.
It was shaping up to be a really spectacular game, but I agree with you. Jordan Marks started the game off, pretty solid, but then the 6 strikeouts in a row. He only had 8 on the day. 6 came in a row, and that really kind of, set the momentum in the Gulls' favor. Yeah. And then they had the excellent 2 runs in the 6th, or 6 runs in the 7th, then they tacked on 3 more in the 8th. And you're right, Seidel had a good day with that 2-run home run. You had some production at the top of the lineup. It's, it almost does go unnoticed, but it wasn't necessarily offensively an awful day for the Bay Sox at the plate. It was just those strikeouts, especially in a row, is kind of what did them in.
Yeah, and I mean, even tougher tomorrow as the Bay Sox do take on the Upper Valley Nighthawks. So, Upper Valley has had a great season, so it's going to be interesting to see, how the Bay Sox respond. Again, weather pending. It's supposed to rain all day tomorrow, unfortunately, but knock on wood, hopefully Mother Nature bounces back. But again, should be interesting tomorrow. Bay Sox back at it, looking to rebound from another loss here tonight. Do move to 3-9 on the season and a 2-game win streak. Let's see, back-to-back home games at home at Paul Walsh Field for the Bay Sox, so home field advantage in their favor.
Yeah, it looks like things will at least shape up, and start getting better for you guys. I mean, you have a solid team out there. And so I'll let you off the hook, Alex. It's always a pleasure being with you.
Steven, it's always fun. And then also, Zach, I'll be back in a few weeks later on in July.
We'll see you, and I'll be with you
yes,
over there.
Yeah, you should make a trip up, Zach. New Bedford is a very nice area.
He can join us. He can join us. So, for the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Fuse, we wish you safe travels.
Thank you.
We will see you soon. Newport is in action against Danbury. We'll get to that in a little bit. I'm going to go find tonight's player of the game. I'm going to send it over to Zach Letson to fill us in a little bit more about tonight's game, but also take a look around the rest of the NECBL. Zach, take it away.
Well, thank you, Steven. Newport picking up win number 7 on the season, moving to 7-5 with an 11-4 victory over the New Bedford Bay Sox, who fall to 3-9. As we take a look around the league in tonight's action, as we mentioned earlier, the Mystic Schooners picking up win number 10 with a 12-4 win over the Ocean State Waves. Mystic, the first team in the NECBL in the 2019 season to reach 10 wins. And in fact, they will be the next team to play the Gulls here at Cardines Field. That'll be Wednesday night at 6:35 p.m. As we keep looking around the league, the Vermont Mountaineers picking up a 12-1 win over the Sanford Mainers to move to 6-7. And the Upper Valley, in the Battle of the Valleys, it is Upper Valley with currently having a 7-1 lead in that game in the bottom of the 9th. And as we continue to look around the league, Keene currently holds a 12-6 advantage, that game in the bottom of the 8th over the North Adams Steeplecats. You look around tonight's game, it was really a complete game effort for the Newport Gulls. Great starting pitching from USC Upstate pitcher Jordan Marks, 8 strikeouts across 7 innings, pitched just 2 runs, both earned allowed, and the dominance from pitcher Mike Sansone continuing, still has not given up a run on the season. And then, of course, Zach Oninger on to close the door for the Gulls. Well, the Gulls will be in action tomorrow night taking on the Danbury Westerners. That game will be out on the road before they return Wednesday night for their 5th game in 5 days when they take on the Mystic Schooners. As you look around the lineup tonight for the Gulls, 8 out of the 9 hitters in the lineup recording hits, and it was really an outstanding performance from guys that stepped out. 3 separate hitters with 3 hits. That would be Greg Cavalieri, Justin Henry Malloy, and Ryan Tours, all recording 3 hits on the night to help contribute to Newport's 17-hit night. The loss dropping New Bedford to 3-9 on the season, and as Steven mentioned, they will have 2 more home games coming up on the season, and really a complete game effort. As we mentioned, 8 batters for the Gulls recording hits, and it was really everyone from the top to the bottom who really came in and stepped on through, and the pitching from Marks really helped set the tone as the Gulls only had to use 3 pitchers in this game rather than the 6 that the Bay Sox were forced to use. And the continued patience from the Gulls absolutely key, leaving a few guys on base early in the game. It was a little concerning and not breaking through until the 4th inning, but the Gulls really doing damage in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings, where they scored 10 of their 11 runs, and that is really when they did cash in. Tonight, as we wait for Stephen Huff here, looking for tonight's player of the game. And as we continue to look around the league, Newport's game tomorrow night in Danbury will be pivotal. The Gulls win tonight, moving them to 7-5 on the season, moves them just a half game back for 2nd place in the Southern Division. Of course, the top three teams in the Southern Division will be in the NECBL playoffs starting in the beginning of August. And now we're going to send it down to Stephen Huff with tonight's player of the game.
All right, I'm down here with tonight's player of the game, Jordan Marks. And Jordan, you were tonight's starter. You went 7 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts. I mean, you did nothing wrong out there. Everything was clicking. What was going right for you?
Me and Coach Zackerson have been working on some things. Obviously, been here for the last 3 weeks, and we've been definitely working on the slider, and that was working, and getting on top of the fastball and working down in the zone. So it definitely worked pretty well tonight.
Zacharson, before the game, actually mentioned you wanted to work lower in the zone. You also limited some walks well, too. You only gave up 1 today to the 8 strikeouts. A lot of improvement being made. Is that part of the approach today?
Yeah, I think early in summer ball, it's a little bit different because, you take a couple weeks off from school and you get here and you're kind of just thrown into it. So, I think it's just being comfortable, getting used to playing every day and doing that. So.
And then part of, the highlight tonight with those 8 strikeouts, 6 in a row. I mean, that's incredible. Walk me through some of those at-bats.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I've never struck out the side before, I don't think. So that was pretty fun, and rolling, just trying to keep it going. So that was that.
All right, Jordan Marks here tonight. Tonight's player of the game. I'm Stephen Huff. Back up to you in the booth, Zach.
Well, thank you, Stephen. Have to look at Jordan Marks, one of the best overall performances by any Gulls pitcher this season. As we mentioned, 6 consecutive strikeouts to go with 8 for the game. Marks pitching 7 innings and allowing just 2 runs, both earned, before handing it off to Mike Sansone and Ottinger. Sansone, as a matter of fact, picking up any CBL Pitcher of the Week honors just last week and pitched a shutout 8th inning, and we're going to send it back down to Stephen Huff, who will conclude tonight's broadcast.
So Newport beat the Bay Sox tonight by a score of 11-4 and will be back in action tomorrow against Danbury Westerners in Danbury. For tonight, I'd like to thank our executive producer and director, Tom Lima, producer Shannon Carlson, audio technician Shayna Wintraub, on-site engineer Arthur Smith, social media coordinator John Semino, statistician Michael Garman, field reporter Zach Letson, post-game show host John Perrick, and the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Fuse. I'm Stephen Huff saying goodnight from the city by the sea.